This is the show where Jimmy and Promise will be frantic. They will get that way when the callers are pedantic. And if we find ourselves in an annoying debate because people talk over us, I will be irate. Welcome to Calling It Now. Welcome to Calling It Now. Calling It Now. Calling It Now. That's how the intros work.
I was going to ask you, I forgot if there was a song for this show yet, and that answers my question really well. Honestly, I'm impressed. I kind of
stopped looking for one when people were like, but I want the made up songs every time. So,
yeah.
This time I did cheat a little.
A song for this show yet, and that answers my question really well. Honestly, I'm impressed. I kind of
stopped looking for one when people were like,
what is happening?
Yeah. What? Oh, is that you, Luthien? Luthien was sabotaging us.
I thought I was just so delayed for a second, and I was like, oh, this show's gonna suck.
By the way, you ain't Robert Plant, Jimmy. Neither is Robert Plant. Can we throw that out there? I only found this out this week. I didn't know that voice that people are all mad Greta Van Fleet, quote unquote, stole wasn't even like a real voice he did. Like, he can't just do that. He's not. So Robert Plant isn't Robert Plant either. Fuck Robert Plant. Anyway, I did, as we were on the hold, I was like, what are 4 debate words? Let me AABB this thing. So I just quickly wrote down frantic, pedantic, debate, irate. And that was how I came up with my thing here. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Calling It Now. We are here and ready. Oh, my fucking God. Kill me. Okay. Nope. That's bad too. Bad things are happening. We are professionals. This is a professional show. Oh my goodness.
I'm so scared about what's going to pop up next.
Yeah. What was he watching on that TV before? Welcome to Calling It Now, where you can call us now if you would like to debate us on any of the things that we are keen to debate on. We are a couple of atheist leftists who believe that purity culture, Christianity, and MAGA are just about the worst things frickin' ever. And if you disagree and would like to debate that you believe Christianity is true or that MAGA is a positive political party, if you think that Donald Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize, if you think that Donald Trump is a great peace president, you can call in and debate us at 33654-32101. But I would be remiss if I don't mention that today I have Promise Backlund with me. Maybe we should, I don't know. There's like just too much going on in all of this text up here. Maybe we should shorten this to MAGA is awful for women. And Promise, you want the full name? What kind of name tag treatment you want right now? Well, you have to unmute yourself if you want to tell us.
Well, it wouldn't be me being back on the show if I wasn't forgetting to unmute myself. No, I'm good with just that. Just a word there.
Promise. Word. Great. All right. You can call us now check out this phone number. Do you love it? Promise has been away and doesn't watch our stuff. She finds our stuff repulsive, so she doesn't know about this. So the phone number is now 33654-32101. That is the phone number for our show. 33654-32101. Isn't that cool?
You say this like you think I have the old number memorized.
Yeah. 720-619-2288. You remember that one?
No, I don't even know my own phone number. I actually, honest to God, don't know my husband's phone number.
I was more pointing out that we say it out loud every show a bunch of times, right?
Yeah, you would think.
Or do you not? Do you always just say, if you want, you can call us. It's in the description. It's on the screen. That's my impression.
I read it. Actually, I write it down. I sit here before the show, and this is what I was doing for Chewed Gum. Up until the last time I was on there, I sat and wrote down. I would write down which hosts I needed to announce for the upcoming shows, and I would write down the date, and I would write down the phone number.
Aw. Well, that's
like pen
sweet.
Paper.
I think something also. So if you want to call in and debate us, and Promise is here, who is our Chewed Gum alum. By the time you get back there, you and Taylor, it's gonna be very awkward. it's going to be awkward. You're going to give Taylor the boot. You're going to be like, this is my show. And no, I'm kidding.
I don't want to give her the boot. I want to just watch her. Luckily, the time zone of my life right now is working in her favor. So,
yeah.
I do want credit for discovering Taylor for this, for Chewed Gum. Not in life, but like because I was like, I have a feeling. Which we can give you the credit for teaching me how to navigate those things, because you're usually the finder.
Sure. Yeah, that's all
Sounds
stuff
really
that
creepy.
I have nothing to say about. What?
I said that sounds really creepy. I sound like I'm we're like going around and just like picking people. It's not like that, but anyways.
Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to do a million things at once because we now have a show time we have to fill later and other things happening, and there's all kinds of things. Hey, can you do Chewed Gum tonight? I'm guessing not.
No, I've been awake. I would. We'll see how great this goes. No, I don't think I can stay. It's for everyone who doesn't know, I'm in Finland, and so it is 10 p.m. my time right now. So Chewed Gum unfortunately starts at 2 a.m. my time, which is just like not. My brain doesn't work. I could do it, and honestly, the theists would probably love that because it would go better for them. I'd be like, what? Sounds good. Sure.
You're like, yeah, God probably hates my...
God, yeah, maybe there is a God. I don't know.
You know what? You're making a lot of good points, and from now on, I will never have cleavage again because men's eyes. I have to worry about their temptations. I can see that. Yeah. That'd be a good show. Yeah. Just conceding to everything to say it's because you're sleepy. And then those clips stay around forever. Hey, everybody, if you're watching right now, first of all, I know we have a call in the queue that looks like it's getting screened. We'll probably take that here in a moment. But a few things to talk about. One, if you want to help us get this into more people's shorts feed, because that is where this shows up, go ahead and click the like button and participate in chat in as much as you can and want to, because that is going to be your best way to help us grow our algorithmic favor. So just go ahead and click that like. We'll put a poll in there that you can also interact with. And oh man, I hope Javon rated us. Javon apparently just stopped streaming. Well, tell him to redirect. Dang, it's too late, I think. Also, this Saturday is the Still No Kings protest across the country, and we will be here doing a fundraiser for the Secular Student Alliance. Now, here's the fun part. It's already begun. It actually just begun moments ago, but nobody yet has donated at all. In fact, I think I need to hit refresh on this so I can go and see. So
somebody gets to be the first one on this episode.
Not only that, don't do it yet. I know you just heard what Promise said, and Promise is like, oh, fuck if Jimmy had a plan for this. What I want to do... I love you so much.
Remember when I asked you, is there a plan? That was the time to tell me.
Well, there wasn't a plan until just this second, and I didn't have the plan.
I understand. Then. I'm sorry. Until I
Here's what I want everybody to do.
Sense.
Right now, the super chat button, if it hasn't been replaced for you with a little heart that looks like two hands holding each other in the shape of a heart, boy, that's kind of whack to draw. Let me see if I can draw it. Go ahead and refresh the stream. And make sure that you it's awful. I cannot draw for shit, dude. Somebody there's like a thing where, all right, so the symbol should look something like this now. That's what your super chat symbol should look like. A hand.
That's a really good job.
Okay.
I would have drawn like a turkey or something. No, I'm serious. I mean, that's coming from me, but
somebody posted a AI something, and somebody in response has a meme that's like, ew, this person needs AI to draw for him. And I was like, yo, I'm fine with saying let's not use AI, but here I am once again catching a stray because I can't draw for shit. So let's not shit on people being unable to draw. My stick figures are fucked up. Okay, let's remember who's around. Oh, apparently somebody dropped. Damn it, Colton, you didn't follow instructions. I said don't donate yet. Colton. All right. Well, Colton is forever the first one. But what I want to see is in 5 minutes at 2:15. How much we can make the first like rush of donations. So everybody at 2:15 on the dot, I would like everybody to donate. whatever, like you are able to donate. So if it's $1, $5, the cool thing about these donations, and this is not the whole stream, by the way. If you're stopping in and you're like, I'm not here for a fundraiser stream, we're taking calls. If you are MAGA and you want to call and debate us, you can do that. If you are pro purity culture, if you are pro Christianity, you can call in and debate us. Are you MAGA? Is going to be the poll question right now. But when the clock hits a quarter after, 15 minutes after the hour, wherever you are locally, hit that button beforehand, and you can actually start hitting it now. So you can hit the donate now button, and then you can choose how much that you're going to put in, and you can let it, it's okay to take credit, check mark the little show my name along with the donation. You hit continue, and then basically just go all the way up until you hit the donate button, and we're all going to spam that donate button at the same time and just see how much in the first like wave of donations we can make, how much we can get started. Because here's the thing, Matt's going to do a stream with Justin tomorrow, and he always brags about that shit. So people, be jumping in there with the donations, and let's just be like, oh, must have been easy when we already got you off to such a solid start. Squeaky, 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 that kind of thing. Go ahead and hit that donate button. Remember that they are fully tax deductible, and 100% of your donation is going to go to the Secular Student Alliance. So go ahead and hit that, and then we're all going to spam it in 3 minutes. In the meantime, if you are MAGA, if you believe that the Secular Student Alliance is bad, if you believe that college campuses should not have a place where secular-minded people can go and talk to each other, if you think that Charlie Kirk's organization, Turning Point USA, is good for college people, we definitely disagree with that. College-age kids, with that propaganda machine should be on campuses. But you can call in right now at 33654-32101, and you can debate us on any of those topics. Reminder that if you are in the chat and you want to help get this into more people's algorithms, get us on to be able to expand how many people are going to come and watch and potentially debate us, we are ready to debate them at 33654-32101. Whoever had already called, I guess, gave up. Luthien, what happened?
Call back.
Okay. Fair enough.
I'm seeing some people in the chat are having problems. I think it's in the app, maybe. Sometimes, at least for me, when I've donated, I've had to go onto a web browser for the donate button to pop up. So just throwing that out there.
You might have to refresh it too. Let me go pull it up on YouTube on my phone, because we're only a minute away from wanting to spam that. But you might have to, if you came in at the very beginning of the stream, you might have to leave the stream and come back, because I did have to turn the thing on the stream. Why is my internet acting fucking whack on my phone right now? Stop doing this. All I ever do is love you, and you treat me like such shit. Resetting the Wi-Fi after all this is done. All right, come back to YouTube. MAGA, we are here.
MAGA, call us.
32101. It's easy. That phone number, so easy to remember. 33654-32101. Oh, holy shit, dude.
Tell me good reasons why I should move back to the US and be excited about MAGA. I'd love to hear that.
I don't think you can donate on a vertical stream from your phone. That is bizarrely horrible. Why would they not have that turned on? Bro, that's like the worst fucking YouTube feature they've ever come up with. That is hands down the stupidest fucking thing.
But people are still donating via Super Chat.
Who are coming in from the computer. Well, that fucking sucks. Bruh. Okay, let me think how we're going to rectify this for future stuff, because the vertical thing like helps so much. I threw $100 in myself to get us started, but Jesus Christ, that's a fucking terrible, terrible feature. The live stream being well, somehow it let Bryn do a regular super chat. But yeah, that's which is weird because you shouldn't have been able to do that, Bryn. That's just a regular super chat. Yeah, for somehow you bypassed it and did the old school kind, but nobody's here. Yeah, YouTube does not allow the YouTube giving donations on a vertical stream for, well, fucking Christ, then. I don't know what to do. All right, here's the thing we'll do. It sucks to do it this way, but we'll turn super chats back on. However much is made in super chats on this episode, I'll write down and I'll make sure we check it
to donate
on Friday. Or Luthien, if you'll make sure to remind me to check super chat, put a thing there, and then we will donate whatever that amount is. Basically, I'll do a donation from my name in that amount, as long as it's not some crazy high number, in which case we'll have to wait a minute to do it. We'd have to wait until that money comes in. If somehow you guys flood it or whatever, which would be great, but we would have to wait until at the earliest, like probably when that actual money would come in, which would be like late November. Anyway.
But maybe we could get somebody to match that amount in the meantime, which would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So we've got the super chat thing. So now super chats are back on. We'll donate whatever. And so you should be able to see super chat now. You might have to refresh it. We'll donate whatever comes in to the fundraiser. Unfortunately, that means YouTube will take a cut everything. We'll go and look and see what the thing is. But yeah, that really, really fucking sucks that is turned off, that is not a thing you can do unless you're on PC. You can do it on PC from a vertical stream, but you can't do it horizontally. That's bizarrely stupid.
Not from mobile at all, if you get off the app at least.
Right. All right, so here's the other thing you can do right now, and let's do that. Let's go, from the app at all you can't, but I don't want to necessarily set this up. Hey, MAGA, call us. It says there's a couple of you in the chat, 33654-32101. We want to talk to you about, I think we've distracted from this and forgotten to be talking about the stuff that gets them to call. So we'll get back to that stuff here, but we will put a link in the chat to this Sunday's fundraiser, because you could still go there and do it. SSA 2025, boom, boom, boom. Okay, that's not what I was looking for at all. The line. And is it right up here in the top? You could still go there and put the donation in there, because the event is already like up and running. Let's see, share, copy link, come back to this live chat. God, this is so going around my elbow to get to my fucking foot. And then we're just going to have to get back to the regular show. Let's see. Yeah, I guess we probably want to do it more this way than the super chat way, preferably. I will keep an eye out on donations that are going in this way. But do we have any mods here today? Are there any mods in chat? I haven't seen any if there are. Lux is there, but I don't think Lux is going to be hanging out the whole time. We don't want to force Lux to hang out the whole time. If any mods show up later, we'll just make sure that we keep posting that link, though it's not even showing up, I think, as a link to people. So it's not even, goodness sakes. All right, here's
Amar.
Over on the line, there is, it shows up as a link on PC. Once again, the mobile part being the fucking problem. Whatever. All right, let's talk about what's been going on and then solicit some damn calls from MAGA to see if anybody's actually brave enough to call in and defend what's going on. Obviously, we've been seeing the news of the Gaza-Israel conflict allegedly ending, with a lot of people claiming that Donald Trump deserves the Nobel Peace Prize for it. I disagree. I disagree that he deserves the Nobel Peace Prize. If you believe he does deserve it, we do have a phone line. We have phone lines open for you. That's up there, 33654-321-01. I heard you've been getting some excellent comments on your most recent Instagram post. Somebody mentioned that on the podcast
Have
comments. Yeah.
Oh, they're always wild. They're just crazy at all times. But who knows? The last thing I posted about was how much I like trains. So hopefully that one was less controversial.
And yet I'll bet there's still somebody in there that's like, you're a fucking harlot. You fucking a train whore. By train, you mean you want someone to pull a train on you. Is that what the phrase is? To pull a train? Wow. What's it called? What is the...
I have no idea.
There's a way to turn everything pervy, but to have a... What is it? What's the slang? Pull a train. Heard this. It's not pull, right? Yeah. What is it?
Pull a train? I don't know.
What did you say, Luthien? No, it is pull a train. It's pull a train. To have sex with a line of people, one after another. It is pull a train. Or run a train is both. Yeah.
Wow.
It's both of them. I Googled it. So there you go. That's what the freaks in the... we think that purity culture is really bad for women. We think that MAGA is bad for women. We think Christianity is bad for women. But if you disagree, you can call in right there.
Yeah. Tell me why I should be pro purity culture.
Change the big gray banner to say MAGA, call and debate us. 33654-321-01. 33654-321-01. In the meantime, I guess we'll answer some questions from super chats if people want to do that while we wait. That way, as long as MAGA is not calling, money is being made, in this case for charity. We will donate those through to the event. So basically, as they're like, well, we're not going to support the show by calling, they'll actually be supporting anyway, because y'all will be super chatting in the meantime. Let me go ahead and look at what we have in here real quick. We'll see. Bryn had said, bam. Elizabeth said, hope Promise is enjoying it in the wonderful Finland, and there is no reason to leave Finland. I don't know about that. Is there no reason? Eventually, fascism comes for us all, and Finland doesn't exactly not have proximity to fascism.
We have bomb shelters.
Yeah.
And we have people that are, like, so far it's not illegal to be an anti-fascist, so that's nice.
If MAGA maintains control and successfully makes voting essentially irrelevant here for any significant period of time, I gotta think y'all are looking at Russia as like, MAGA's not going to keep stopping Russia for very long. Like Finland
already doesn't look to the U.S. for that and any major, like, they have learned that they kind of have to do their own thing. That's why they've put so much into their defense. So
sure, but if we're a Ukrainian thing to like a Ukraine level thing to happen, it would be pretty awful.
Well, we're we're part of NATO.
Sure, which is foundationally supported by the
US. If that
happens,
I'm not going to feel good anywhere in the world at that point. Yeah. So,
I'm going to hide in New Zealand. I feel like it's going to be it'll take the longest.
There's earthquakes there.
Fascism comes first. There's earthquakes in LA, and yet it's the most high demand place to live.
I know. That's why I don't want to be there. I was so scared when I lived there. Anytime I was in traffic under a bridge, I was like, hell no.
Yo, I can't twerk. Okay. So earthquakes, I can just plant my feet and then I'll get the video out. I'll be like,
just hold on to the counter, plant your feet, and it would all just work out for you.
I did it. Wow. Keith says, what MAGA do you boycott? I don't buy anything directly from farms because of their overwhelming support. I think farms are probably getting fucked anyway, so I don't think you have to worry about that much. I think farmers are actually, by the way, farms aren't as supportive as you think they are, and they're especially pissed off about the tariffs. But a lot of farms are, it's kind of like one of those things where you have to be, there's no positive consumption under capitalism, and participating in unorganized boycotts, maybe at a local level, can be effective. but essentially doesn't do much of anything, especially if it's just a like non-vocal boycott. If you're not promoting the boycott or whatever else, it's kind of like, it's the appearance of doing something, and it might make you feel better. I'm not telling you not to do it if you get a comfort from it, but it isn't really terribly effective. So anytime we have like direct boycotts that are organized and stuff, I've definitely participated in a lot of the boycotts that were against like any pro-Israel companies. But as far as doing the farm things, there's also the unintended consequence of the farms are actually why Donald Trump is having to change his immigration policy and start to go, man, we had a MAGA collar on again, and they apparently dropped, or I think it was a MAGA collar, calling about, but they thought purity culture was good for women.
I saw one come in, but they were on our side. I don't think they understood that we're...
Oh, I see. Yeah, we are looking to talk to MAGA. We have heard time and time again that the death of Charlie Kirk created 10 million Charlie Kirks, right? Well, Charlie Kirk's thing was supposedly being willing to debate and talk to the opposition, to be proven wrong and to prove wrong. So here we are. Luthien, if you'll change this, say MAGA, call and prove us wrong now, the big gray banner. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your proof. We want to be proven wrong. Anyway, call in. That number's right there on the screen, 33654-32101.
I'm regularly getting comments all summer from the MAGA people telling me that I should be so happy and excited about what's happening in the US. And I would love for them to actually call and let me know, what should I be excited about? Why should I be glad about anything that MAGA is offering? I don't know if that's
even funny how brave they are in comments, how brave they are in responses, how brave they are on their keyboard and on the phone, but not phone line. But when it comes time, like, you can call and share those points, prove us wrong, share it with us now. And the phone number is right there, 33654-32101. If you are MAGA and you know better than we do, call in and tell us, hey, MAGA, are you really Charlie Kirk? If so, call in and prove us wrong right now. It's so easy. All you need are facts. ... And then I'm going to post the link to the show, and I'm going to put that in the MAGA topic and people on Threads. By the way, if you're watching right now and you want to help us reach more people, get more people watching, and potentially get more MAGA callers, this is actually quite a bit slower than we usually by now we've got our first call in. I don't know if it's because we started early or what. I think they're all afraid. They know Promise. They know Promise is ready to handle them.
I'm so scary that nobody wants to talk to me.
Yeah. You can call in that 33654-32101, and you can call in and debate us now, and you can defend MAGA. You can defend the legacy of Charlie Kirk. You can just do it. I mean, y'all are
talking to theists as well? Because Charlie Kirk's other big thing was that you should be a witness and, share the testimony of your faith. So I'd also be, if we're taking those calls, if there's just a theist who maybe doesn't want to talk about the political side of things, but wants to express why they think Christianity is good for America, why America should be a Christian nation. Are we taking those kinds too?
Yeah, literally anything we disagree on as a couple of atheist, leftist, anti-MAGA people.
Well, tell me why you think I should put pineapple on my pizza, because that's disgusting.
Mm-hmm. No, that's not a topic I would actually take. You say that, but then somebody in the chat
so overtly wrong and disgusting, and then they'll actually call.
Somebody in the chat would be like, "Oh, here's my chance. Here's my chance." They welcome that. Something that actually matters to the world. Fuzzy says, "I'm about to drive a train in 10 min. Does that count?" Only if it might. It depends on what you mean. Colton says, "Why did U.S. memorialize Columbus? He landed in South America. So why the American hero worship?" I believe, if I'm recalling right, it happened during a time where Italians were being treated pretty shitty. and that it was kind of done as a like, here's something for the Italians, because there was believe it's fine enough to acknowledge they'll pretend that there's a through line to today, but some of the whites used to not be. There was the right kind of whites back in the day when the people of color were being adequately oppressed, so there wasn't much reason to hate them because they were kind of like, to white people, quote unquote, kept in their place. They focused their bigotry on what the right kind of white person was. And as I recall, it was basically a like, here's a hero for the Italians. Yeah, Columbus sucked and is not worth us worshiping in any way. Is today Columbus Day? That was yesterday, right? That was yesterday. Or Indigenous Peoples Day, which is much, much more preferable. Yeah, he sucked.
That would be another good thing for people to call and tell us why we should think that he was a good person. I remember growing up, like doing the whole Christian homeschool curriculum thing. Columbus was worshipped. Like we had to read all these books about him, and it was like, he's so great, he's so amazing. Then I remember learning the real history and facts about Christopher Columbus, and he's like a monster. So
yeah, it really sucks. And Darius had asked, at least on Android, the donate button does in fact exist on mobile. Screenshots posted in the Patreon exclusive Discord. Well, that's good, except for that I don't know when you did it, because we went back to, I actually have an Android device I could have tested it on. I should have done that. But we went back to super chatting. So now it's the super chat button, which does appear on Android and iOS. We switch back to that and are going to donate whatever the profits from specifically super chats are. Unfortunately, YouTube will be taking a cut of that. So it will be less than if you had donated the other way, which is tax deductible. So a reminder, you can go to the stream that is going to be this Saturday and donate there. It's already up if you wanted to donate today. But Jimmy, would you live stream playing the new Pokemon game in a couple of days? I've thought about it. So definitely be playing it. But I've been thinking about it. Obviously not during the same time as other stuff, because we'll have our shows, both shows on Thursday still. And it comes out on Thursday. Maybe I'll do like a midnight thing. I don't know. I haven't decided for sure yet, but I'm definitely going to be playing. It looks really, really, really good. Really, really, really good. Oh boy. Okay. Looks like calls are finally coming in. Let me see what this last one was. How to get over a belief sex is dirty, bad, wrong? I know logically it isn't, but hard to feel it's not, if that makes sense. # fuck purity culture. I have found that time plus it takes time and action. You just got to bone for a while and eventually it makes its way. But also just addressing like the whole, you can do a CBT exercise of like forcing yourself to really think about why you're feeling guilty and taking that to its conclusion. And at a certain point, you'll just be like, boy, I'm actually like letting go of this because I'm tired of going through these really dumb reasons.
Right. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and take this first call. Looks like we're talking to Lewis in Kentucky. Lewis in Kentucky, you're on the line with Jimmy and Promise. And it says here in your notes, did you put in the notes that you're a legend?
No.
Oh, what am I mistaking? I just have I'm a legend in here.
That's exciting.
I'm not a legend, I promise. I have a speech impediment. They might have misunderstood me.
Oh, it looks like it was the auto screener had heard I'm a legend, and I was like, man, what a way to start. But okay, so Lewis in Kentucky.
I'm not a legend.
That's all good. How's the weather in Kentucky today?
Right now, 76 and sunshine.
76 and sunshine. Nice. I just want to get an idea of a few things from you. First of all, did you vote for Trump?
Yes, and I will. Yes, I did both times. I'm very proud of it.
Both times or all three times? Because he's run three times legitimately so far.
I know. I bet I voted for him for all three times.
Okay, so in 2016, in 2020, and in 2024, you voted for him. Obviously, he won in 16 and 24, and I'm sure he won the state of Kentucky in all 3 years, in all 3 elections.
Yeah, he did.
Lewis, how old are you, if you don't mind?
I'm 50.
50? And was Trump your first election that you voted in, or did you vote prior to Trump?
I'm 50 years old, man.
Sure, but I don't know whether you voted.
I voted my whole life. I believe if you don't, I believe voting's the right, and if you don't speak your mind, then your voice don't matter.
Sure. All right. So
you got to speak your mind.
Have you ever voted anything besides Republican your whole life?
Yes.
You want to give me an idea of that? You voted for Bill Clinton.
I voted for Bill Clinton.
Both times or just the once?
Both.
Both times. All right. But then after that, you voted, I assume, Bush.
Oh, I voted Republican.
Then McCain, and then Romney, and you did all of them.
No, I didn't vote for McCain. I hated McCain. So no, I did not vote for McCain.
Interesting. But you did vote Romney.
Yes.
So who did you vote for back during McCain-Obama?
I voted for Obama.
You voted Obama over McCain?
Yes.
Wow. Why?
You're interesting. I like this.
I liked Obama's. I like the way he was acting. He was new and fresh, and he was younger, and I thought he had a better grasp on reality than McCain did.
Interesting. All right. What policies of his did you like more?
I don't remember exactly. I'm an old man. I can't remember all the policies. Both of y'all asking me questions, but go ahead.
All right. Go ahead, Promise.
Sorry, that was my bad. Yeah, I just wanted to ask, when you're voting specifically for the president, what is most important to you, Lewis? How you think it's going to affect you directly, or are you thinking about bigger picture, different policies that may or may not affect you? Which is more important to you? That you see change in your personal life, or that you see overall change, whether that impacts you or not?
I look at a lot of it. I look at the economy, like wages. I'm a blue collar worker. I work in a warehouse. I work for UPS. I'm a supervisor for UPS. So I work in a blue collar atmosphere. How that's going to affect me, not just me, my friends. I work in a warehouse full with African Americans, Latinos, everything, and how it affects all of us. I look at just one thing. I don't look at just one thing. Then I look at where we're going to be in the next 4 years. Are we going to be better off in the next 4 years?
What do you think right now? Do you think 4 years from now, after Trump, we'll be better than we were?
To be honest about it, right now, I don't know. I'm still debating that. In a lot of ways, yes, I do agree with him on the border. I agree with him on one thing I'll let you know. I don't really care about the 1% of transgenders in sports. That's only 1%. I'm not really worried about that. I do believe that men and women should play in sports.
Yeah, but I hear you. So what are some? Give me a quicker list of the things you agree on, and then I'll ask you a follow up too. But you said you agree with Trump so far on the border, right?
The border, yeah. Okay. I agree with 100% on that. I agree on the tariffs.
Okay.
But I also believe he's taking the tariffs a little bit too far, in my opinion. I also believe in the minimum. I also believe in the big beautiful bill. On a lot of that aspect, I do agree with on the waitresses or tours in general not being tipped. I agree with that.
No taxes on tips.
There's a lot of things. Yeah, I do agree. I have a speech impediment, so I apologize.
What are some things you disagree with him on? Yeah.
Most on it. My biggest disagreement with him, not really on one of his policies, is the demeanor. He will say something, and I would sit there, and I'd be like, "I'm on your side. I believe you. I'm right there with you." Then he keeps going. You're like, "Shut up, dude. Shut up. You're going. You're ruining the good point." Mainly his demeanor. I don't think he's an evil person. I don't think he's Adolf Hitler. I think he just doesn't know when to shut up sometimes.
So what kind of policies would you say, since you brought up Adolf Hitler, what kind of policies would he have to implement that you would say, oh, that is kind of Hitler-esque?
Now you're fishing a little bit. Now you're starting to finish a little bit. And then that,
well,
I don't know.
Curious. You said you don't think he's Hitler, so I want to get the distinctions, the differences you see. Sure.
Okay.
Why?
Adolf Hitler killed tens and millions of Jews.
Sure.
Adolf Hitler was an evil human being. You are like you are.
So is the Holocaust the only thing you're aware of? Is the Holocaust the only negative you're aware of? Because certainly I could sit here and go, we've been funding genocides. We've been indirectly funding genocides. Hang on, Lewis. Hang on.
Okay.
Certainly I could come here and I can list off the people that Donald Trump is responsible for killing. Right now, everybody is basically high-fiving today because we blew up another civilian boat that we're told there were drugs on. We're not being given the intelligence, but even if there were drugs on, we don't give the death penalty out in America for people trafficking drugs. So we're celebrating that people are being murdered from a different government. But even if you don't want to go there where people are going to argue, well, they're guilty because they're drug traffickers, certainly the many innocent people in Gaza and the Yemenis genocide that Donald Trump directly supported and funded back in his first term.
And I'm not 100% on the Israel and Gaza thing. I'm not 100% Israel. By no means.
Cool. So,
that's the part that you are. That's the part that a lot of, and no offense to you guys, a lot of people you all seem like you're a little bit far left. I'm not, and so a lot of people on the far left, if you say you're a Trump fan, automatically you like everything he does. I don't, because I think Israel did some horrific things in the past 2 years, and they did. There's no debating that. I mean,
I think you're getting mistaken. My position isn't that you must like everything he does. It's that Donald Trump has crossed lines that made it immoral to vote for him and support him, even if it was only to say, well, what's the opposition? And if the opposition is better and you have two choices, you go with the better one. So my line wouldn't be you like everything he did. It's that you chose a terrible person doing terrible things. You chose the more evil. I don't think he's doing terrible things though. You do. Sure he is.
I don't.
Yes,
I don't think. I think the border is not a horrible thing. What he's doing on that border, deporting illegal immigrants.
What is
illegal immigrants is. Now, I mean, and see, this is the kind of conversation I do like.
Wait, are you going to explain what you're going to say, or are you just saying the words illegal immigrants?
I couldn't. No, I thought you was interrupting me. I apologize. I
asked you, what is he doing Lewis, hang on and take a breath. We're gonna chill. What is he doing at the border? When you say you agree on the border, what is it you agree with him doing?
Illegal crossings is down a whole lot. The lowest it's been in probably 10 years, I guess. And that's just a fact. Illegal coming over illegally. Illegal
crossings are down, which you must know were down under Biden as well. That actually by the time Biden left office, it was down to lower than any point during the Trump administration. And so immigration wise,
that's not true.
Yes, it is.
That is not true by any way. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I can pull the numbers. I don't have a computer. I know it's not. That is not true at all.
Go ahead, pull up the numbers. Go ahead and pull up the numbers.
I don't have a computer. I said I do not have a computer in front of me.
Numbers if you can.
But I know.
I'll pull it up for you.
How
did border crossings at the end of Biden's term compare to Trump's first term? It's easy enough. By the way, like if you're talking about even deportations, both of them deporting like crazy. Let's see.
That's not. I have to pull mine on. Let me get my own computer, but I have to get my own plug. That's not. I don't know what you're looking at, but what I looked at is totally different.
Sure, I'm sure what you looked at was totally different because I think your sources are going to be totally different. Let me ask you this. Was Biden's numbers in decline when he left office or no?
Huh?
Were border crossings in decline? Huh?
No, they didn't decline. They were not declining. They were declining because they were declining because at the end he realized he needed to step his game up to try to win the election before he got pushed out.
So you are acknowledging then what I said was true, that at the end his numbers were low.
That's partly true. That's partly true.
You just told me it wasn't true.
No, you're not. But when Joe Biden left office, when Joe Biden left office, that started to go up because him and Harrison started to raise. Then they started to attack the border because they do it. I know it. They started to because they needed to win the election. Before that, they were letting everybody in. There were sanctuary cities all over the country. There was sanctuary. New York is a sanctuary city.
Lewis, you threw out the phrase that isn't true and then actually just said the phrase they're letting everybody in. Hey, remind me, when they tried to pass an immigration bill because Biden came out and said border crossings are crazy, and they had a bipartisan bill where a Republican, one of the ones considered, I'm trying to remember which one it was, somebody in the chat will remind me, it was a Republican, Kyrsten Sinema, who was a moderate independent that kept leaning right, that blocked the Biden administration from doing their stuff. And then they had one person from the Democrats. And it was considered the most conservative immigration bill that possibly could pass. And then the Speaker of the House went down to Mar-a-Lago, went down and chatted with Trump. And what did happen to that bill? And what do we know is the reason why it happened to that bill? It was Langford, by the way, not considered remotely a moderate. Langford was one of the people who made this bill.
That is so wrong. You are so wrong.
Go ahead. Tell me what was wrong.
So wrong.
Tell me what I said that was wrong. There was all of it.
All right. When Joe Biden was in office, we had a mass deportation of people coming in that country illegally, going to sanctuary cities. That's a fact. That's not something you can make up.
Hey, Lewis, if your point is so strong, why are you now avoiding the point I actually just made and just trying to go back to a summary position that somebody in Fox News would say? So let's come back to what I just asked you. True or false? A bipartisan bill was written and proposed by Senator Langford, Kyrsten Sinema, and a Democrat. I don't remember who the Democrat was either. Is that true or false?
False.
Of course I don't what? Oh, wait. Excuse me. Of course I don't. You go ahead and you tell me who the Democrat was. If you're going to do of course you don't, a smug little I don't remember, but you do. Who was the Democrat on that bill?
You got a computer right in front of you, and I don't. So it's easy for you to look it up.
And all I said was that I don't remember, and you said, of course you don't. So that must mean you do remember. If you're trying to dunk on me, you have a computer and I can look it up. Lewis, I can look it up, but I'm pointing out that you just said, of course you don't, like it's something you're superior to.
You're trying to play the negative. You're trying to play the negative.
Lewis, all I said was that I don't remember who the Democrat was, and you said, of course you don't, as a sort of smug gesture of that you're more intelligent than me. So clearly you must remember who the Democrat was. Go ahead. Who was it?
I'm not more intelligent than you. I'm not more intelligent than you are. I don't cherry pick my facts.
I'm sorry. You think it is a cherry-picked fact to say Donald Trump? Let me just give you the full thing. There was an immigration bill that is actually more significant and more conservative. By the way, I don't support that bill, and I'm glad it didn't pass because it would have been a horrible foundation in the future when we can actually do good immigration reform. Donald Trump becoming president's a tragedy, but that bill was more conservative than Donald Trump has any chance of getting passed. It had bipartisan support. It was written by an extremely conservative, Mr. Langford, person, and it absolutely would have gone further than anything Trump is doing now. But the Speaker of the House went down and talked to Trump, and essentially Trump said, no, if they get immigration under control right now, that's going to be bad for us. So he had the Republicans not vote on it, despite the fact that prior to that discussion with Trump, Republicans had broadly said they support it and were excited about it. So Donald Trump doesn't care about immigration, is what this shows. Donald Trump cares about running on immigration. So now go ahead and present whatever facts, actual facts, not you just yelling, that's not true, you have to counter that.
I haven't yelled yet.
What?
I'll just look at the facts. Donald Trump.
Go ahead.
The border is more secure now. We are 98%.
Why are you afraid of addressing my actual point, Lewis? Lewis, why are you afraid of addressing my actual point?
What was your point? I just tried to reply to it.
Did you didn't listen? Great. Donald Trump stopped a bill that would have done more for immigration under Biden. He got in the way of passing it because he doesn't actually care about immigration. He runs about the politics of running on immigration. So he stopped it.
Are you saying right now the border is not safe? It's not secure.
Am I saying right now the border is not safe? Buddy, I'm an actual leftist. The border is being ridiculously controlled, and there's ginormous, hang on, you asked me a question, I'm going to answer it. There's ginormous reforms we have to do, and then we should go after those reforms to essentially an open borders policy.
We should go for open border policy?
Oh yeah, definitely, Lewis. Borders are imaginary, and immigration is our strength.
I got a question for you. I got a woman at work. Her name's Elaine. She's Cuban, and she would sit there and call you a liar. Would you debate her? Sure.
Have her call in. I'm excited.
Elaine.
I'll debate her any day, buddy. I've debated. Great, and I'd call her a liar. I bet.
She would tell you because the more people that come over illegally makes it harder for people like her to come over legally.
Okay, and I just said we should have an open borders policy.
We think it should be easy for her. It's precisely because of people, like, we don't want her to have a difficult time immigrating.
Lewis, I just said open borders. I didn't say illegal.
Huh? If it's open border, that means you can come over illegally.
No, it means you can't come over legally. Go ahead,
It took her 15 years. It took her 15 years. It took her 15 years to become a U.S. citizen.
And that was wrong.
Lewis,
and Republicans are the reason why that is true.
Lewis, my husband also immigrated to the U.S. and took, I don't remember, 10 plus years. And he had extremely privileged circumstances, and it still was a whole ordeal to become a citizen. So we're on your side about that, believe it or not. But I have a different question for you, if you're comfortable with it. I wanted to know.
You attacked my fiance, who worked a butt
Lewis,
off
I haven't
to come
spoken.
legally.
Lewis, I haven't spoken with you. Lewis, I promise, I haven't spoken with you this entire time, and I certainly haven't attacked anyone. If anything, Lewis. Lewis, you're talking to me right now.
Lewis,
do you want to talk to me or not, Lewis? Because I'm trying to talk to you. Okay, I was trying to be kind and let you know that I think that's inspirational that she did that and put in that work. I'm sorry for her that it took so long. I don't think that's right. But I'm really inspired that she went through everything that I can't even imagine what all it took. I'm going through the process of emigrating to a country right now myself. Anyways, new point that I'm trying to bring up. I wanted to ask you, Lewis, you said you voted for Trump the first time when he took office. During his first 4 years, what was it about his presidency that you liked so much that you wanted it again?
My pay. I was making really good money. When Joe Biden got in office, all the corona shit, all the pushing, all the pushback, and I know Trump was, and I know it started under Trump, so don't go there. But after all said and done, my pay
don't go up. There. You don't get to say, I know that the facts are against me, so don't bring those facts up. You don't get to change the rules like that.
They're not facts.
You just said it was the fact that it started under Trump, so don't go there.
You're gonna play where it started under Trump, and Trump did this. Well, you know what?
And what's
Lewis, I have my own questions if I can ask them.
Yeah, sorry, promise. Go ahead. But you don't get to set the rules where you don't get to bring up facts that ruin it.
When Joe Biden was in office, it got worse. That's a fact.
No, it isn't.
Lewis.
That's a fact.
Lewis, I don't know the exact circumstances of your pay and exactly what happened with that. I don't know what it was that made your pay get better under Trump and then apparently worse under Biden. I'm not sure about that. How is it now? How is money going for you now?
Great.
So did that change as soon as Trump took office? So hold on. So you said it got worse under Biden, and then when did it get better? Did it get better like in January, or what happened? And can you tell me? Can you link that to Trump? Like how are you?
I'll tell you.
Lewis, I'm in the middle of my sentence. When?
Okay, go ahead.
How were you able to trace your pay directly to Trump's presidency? Like, how was it not just you did really well and you got a promotion? Like, I'm curious what happened specifically due to Trump that increased your pay.
I just got a raise. My pay went up.
But how do you know that was because of Trump?
I know it wasn't because of Biden.
Well, I got a raise under Biden's presidency. So, Lewis, I got a $20 per hour raise under Biden's presidency. And then I lost my job once Trump became elected. So I'm trying to understand how you're connecting those dots.
Can I ask you a question?
No, can you answer mine? I'm waiting for you to answer mine.
Yeah. Well, all right, mine was because I got promoted.
But how do you know that you got promoted because of Trump and not because of some other reason?
Trump policies helped Trump like the lowest taxes. Your idea, liberals' idea is where you tax the rich so fucking much that it hurts. If you don't tax the rich as much, it circulates down. UPS took a big cut last year. Now we're actually hiring more people. More people are getting jobs because UPS got taxed less.
I don't think he knows what question you asked.
Hold on.
I don't think he's listening.
Hey, Lewis, nobody here thinks you're an honest interlocutor.
I'm going to answer. You're not letting me answer the question.
You're right, Lewis, and now I've muted you because you are a silly, silly, silly man. And at this point, it feels like we're beating up a child. But unfortunately, you can vote. So it's like we can't say the conversation has no potential value. Oh, Lewis hung up. I'm entirely fine with that. If you're not going to engage honestly and you're just going to scream and you're just going to yell and it's just going to be, and you're not going to answer the questions directly. I think the point Promise was trying to make there is your promotion and her pay increase. She doesn't even say Biden is responsible for her pay increase. I assume you think that it's unrelated to Biden being in office, that it is independent of him in office, and that if Biden wasn't in office, you likely still would have gotten it. Is that true, Promise?
I missed that last part. I was looking at the chat.
Oh, I was clarifying that, Promise, you weren't even saying that your raise was because Biden was in office.
Right. Yes, that was precise. So yes, that's what I thought you were saying. My point was that different things happened for me financially under different presidents. Some things I could attribute to different presidencies, even then, not necessarily the one that was in office at the time. But I was trying to explain to him that you have to be able to connect those dots and show me what policy it was and how were you able to verify that that's why you specifically got a raise. Did everybody at UPS get a raise, and what was the policy you were able to link back to? And even still, maybe that's true. Maybe under Trump's presidency, working for UPS was a really great thing for Lewis. There was still more for us to talk about if he had answered my questions. I was just starting, and I think he was so defensive already that it wasn't going to go well, unfortunately, which is a bummer. I thought he was interesting.
Donald Trump has done things that make union. Well, this was going to be one of the questions if we were talking to somebody I was going to find out whether as a UPS supervisor, if he was a member of a union or not, because a lot of people in jobs like that are in unions, and Donald Trump has made union existence worse. UPS definitely not keen on the guy. It's just funny to hear a person he knows what team he's on, and that's what team he's on, right? And so it's just going to be justified thing after thing after thing, and it's not going to matter whether or not the actual facts add up. But let's go more with the title thing. We'll come back to, apparently there's somebody else who wants to discuss. Oh, from Utah. Somebody who wants to discuss immigration. We'll come back to that later. For any other MAGA people who want to call in and debate us, that number is there, 33654-321-01. We believe that MAGA is bad for America, bad for women, and that Donald Trump is a terrible president and does not deserve a Nobel Prize, any of these things. But on that title topic, let's talk to John in Ohio. John in Ohio, you are on the line with Promise and Jimmy. Before we get started, John, how old are you?
I'm 42.
42 years old. And
yes, sir.
It says you're in Ohio. How's the weather in Ohio today?
It's actually great. It's like 75-ish. So it's actually a beautiful day, actually.
Sounds like a beautiful day.
It's amazing here. Probably not as nice. Where are you guys from? North Carolina or something?
No. I'm in Texas.
Right?
And
I'm in Finland, and it's already very cold here, and the fall leaves are stunning, but it's very cold. John, the 75 sounds nice.
It says here you're MAGA.
Of course.
Have you voted for Trump all three times, or did you only vote for him once, or what's your MAGA?
All three times. I think he's the greatest president, and probably in the sense at least Reagan. But I'd say he's probably one of the greatest presidents of all time. Maybe you have the only Democrat I'd put in for the greatest president of all time would be Harry Truman. But, Lincoln, Truman, Reagan, and then I'd probably say Trump is in the mix of those as well.
So when it comes to immigration policies and stuff, before Trump, you did like liberal Republicans. Lincoln, obviously, a progressive liberal Republican, a liberal Republican. Lincoln was a liberal Republican, right? Well, progressive liberal Republican.
He was a biblical Republican.
Sure, that's not.
But that's a biblical Republican.
That's literally a completely different point. He was still a liberal and progressive Republican. He sought to change the. Yes, it is. It absolutely is different. You're switching categories on me. We're talking about political affiliation, not religious affiliation. And so I'm just pointing out when it comes to immigration, how other people are in society. Even Reagan on immigration was very much more liberal than even recent Democrats were until much more recently. Very, very pro-immigration and would have... Go on.
Well,
you said, well, I assumed you wanted
first
to
of all, you have to understand... Yeah, I do. So, so yes, Lincoln was more liberal in the sense that the Democrats at that time were very racist, and so he was thinking that all men are created equal, black, white,
right?
Very well.
Yeah, the Democrats back then were very
biblical
conservative.
Morality. But see, this is how I define.
The Democrats back then, by the way,
let me finish. Let me finish.
Go on.
What?
Well, you said biblical.
So
the Democrats, you brought up the Democrats being racist. Yes. I'm pointing out, excuse me, hang on. Because you asked what, I'm going to clarify. The Democrats back then were also considered themselves very biblical. And the Democrats back then were conservative. This is why we talk about the party swap. As you've already acknowledged, the liberalism of Biden. Liberalism was more of a Republican thing. The Democrats were split. You had the racist, more conservative Democrats and liberal Democrats at that point, which is what adds kind of nuance to the party swap. Yep. It's more that the liberal conservatives eventually became Democrats because that's where liberalism was, and the racist biblical Democrats became what is now today the conservatives.
It has not. You're total opposite. You are total
Except
opposite.
That's exactly what happened.
Can I finish? Because they were always going to the Word of God. Abraham Lincoln, Harry
So were the
Truman,
racists.
all these people were looking to the Word of God, and so their liberalism changed when they saw something in the Word of God that contradicted their current party or current philosophy. It wasn't that they were. We get stuck on the word liberalism and conservatism. I'm pro-Bible,
and they're both
every
bad.
time
They're both wrong.
that
They're
the
both wrong. For the
Republicans,
record, I'm neither a liberal nor a conservative.
Okay,
Both
but
of
you
them are
can.
terrible.
Okay. I agree to some extent. There's some things I'm liberal on, that I'm conservative on now. So if I was born in the 60s, I'd have been very liberal on racism and some of those things, right? Women's rights, that would have been liberal. But I'm conservative now because I believe, as your show, the conservative movement is actually protecting women now more than ever. And
Right.
I
So
don't
now
know
that we're
how a
on,
Democrat and
so hang on,
liberal. I don't know.
we're gonna pause real
Can I
quick.
finish? Let me finish.
No. You can't go on forever and keep going. Can I finish? Because now you're gish galloping and you're popping to multiple points. So no, you can't finish at the moment, but you will get a moment to, because now we're getting more to the title thing. So a recap for people so far.
Okay. Yes.
John is called in.
Yep.
He believes that the party that's been right has been the most biblical party. I pointed out to him that the biblical politics was actually the foundation of the racists, of the conservatives, of the bad people as well. And that actually, and so the point I would have wanted to have made in there, but we're going to get to the women thing, would have been that the progress we've made has actually been when parties have adopted more humanist, anti-biblical principles. For example, the anti-biblical principle of the abolition of slavery. That is very anti-biblical. We are, however, here to talk about why it is good for women, why conservatism is good for women. We have Promise from Chewed Gum here with us. So now Promise and John are going to discuss how the MAGA movement is good for women. Go ahead, John.
Am I speaking or okay? So first of all, as you like to change the narrative, as the liberal was always.
I haven't spoken with
racism.
you, John. I haven't spoken with you. I haven't spoken with you yet, so I haven't changed anything.
Okay, go ahead. I'm just want to let you know that because of Christianity, the rights of women,
which version of
Congress
Christianity, John? So John, I have some friends that are devout Christians that believe that women should not have the right to vote. And then I have some friends that are devout Christians that believe that everything happening in the US right now in the government is awful, that Christian nationalism is antichrist and all of this. So which version of Christianity do you think is the right one?
I think you have to go back to the Word of God and putting in its proper context. So we can all go on our own ambitions. I'm trying to define it for you.
John.
They've done that. They've gone, and just for some context, I was a Christian. I was a Christian for 25 years, just to give you some context. And I studying the Bible in school is part of what started my deconversion. So I have studied the Bible. I have my friends on both sides of the aisle have studied the Bible extensively, and both believe they have clear understanding of what it is that God wants from them, and it is completely contradicting. And yet, they both have just as much reason to believe what they believe, and they both have Bible verses to back where they're coming from. So, which version of Christianity do you think it is that I should be?
What version of Christianity? I am a Protestant,
right? You
Pentecostal, but this would take. I don't have enough time on your show to explain it, because every time I try to explain it, you try to contradict me. How to give me all these sort of this person believes this, this person believes this, believes this. This is what I
understand,
and you guys can cut me off.
I understand, but John.
No, you can't. But it's complaining that he hasn't.
I'm going to give you a very clear question, and
one word for you,
John. Hey, John, I don't need you to sum up one word. Here's a way to make this easy. So I just want to ask for one point, one reason why you think I should join MAGA. As a woman, specifically, like reasons that would apply to me.
So you can go to so you and your girls don't have to see a man in your bathroom would be one, a biological man. Two, that if you have girls that fit your heart, you're married,
John, pause.
that they will be able to compete
John, you're not following the rules.
women.
John.
Yeah.
Okay,
That is why
I asked for 1 point, and you're not listening. I muted him. So
yeah,
we'll start with
in
point
fairness,
number 1.
He thinks
so that I don't.
transphobia is 1 point.
Right. So to start with your thing, I'll keep you muted while I respond to your first point, and we'll see if we can converse after that. To not see men in the restroom. I'm not sure what you're talking about. That's not been an issue for me. But also what's so funny is I actually live in Finland now, and oftentimes the restrooms are any gender. And it's fun because when my husband and I are out having a drink, we can both just go share the sink, and there's a bunch of people in there. There's nothing weird about it. Everybody has their own closed stalls. I am all for bathroom privacy. Jimmy and I can get into a debate about how I loved having an outhouse all summer because I think having private stalls is great. Other than that, I don't understand. I don't know any women who have an issue.
I'm also pro private stall for the record, people.
I know it's the outhouse thing. I was making a throwback joke. Anyways, my point is that has never been an issue to me. So you lost me at that first point. I've never dealt with men being in a bathroom space where I didn't want them, except for in my own home with people I knew that assaulted me. So, and those were there was nothing there to stop that. A bathroom sign wasn't going to help in my own house. Anyways, so that's my response to your first point. I'm unmuting.
John, we are unmuting you now. Here's what I want to find out. I think what we're going to find out is that you're anchoring to the trans issue. We talk about trans stuff on here all the time. We have a show dedicated to trans stuff. And on Thursdays, we usually have a trans person on so that we're not talking about them without them, right? That's the thing we usually do. So John, if you definitely want to anchor only to trans stuff, I'd say call back on one of those. But for the moment, do you have anything that isn't anchored in what I would say is your non-understanding of the trans issue and a generalized sort of like, this is just what my side? Do you have anything for a cis woman who is here, who is not threatened by trans people existing, who does not find the issue that you just said should appeal to her? The trans stuff,
and let me add one.
Segregating out based on trans doesn't appeal to her. So going with the trans doesn't work. Go ahead, promise.
One of my very favorite humans in the whole world, that's a really dear friend of mine. I would not have met her if it weren't for somebody trans being in the bathroom with me. That's how we met, because I was having a fashion emergency and she was in the bathroom, and we have been friends ever since then. So not only did that point not win me over, it would actually like change my life in a harmful way. If what you're saying, which is that you want to have biological women only have their own private bathrooms, I disagree with that entirely. As
opposed to the robot women. So John, the trans thing isn't going to work as an appeal. When she asked you, why should she join MAGA? The trans thing isn't going to work. So what's something you can actually appeal on?
Well, that you were talking about women, and first of all, that's one. If I didn't know I'm just trying to convince her. I thought I was I'm talking to many women. So if that doesn't bother you, that's fine. But I guarantee you, 90% of the women are going to have a problem with a man coming into the bathroom with their young daughter in the bathroom. You're crazy. You're crazy.
John,
that's not even about discussion.
Okay, so now we have to mute you again because you can't fucking participate. We asked you, do you have something other than trans? She asked you directly, what should appeal to me? You went with trans. Now you're lying that 90% of women, and then you're just repeating your statement that a man, when transgender women aren't men, and 90% of women are not opposed to transgender women in their bathroom. So now, asked once again, John, do you have something that isn't dependent on your generalized, this is sort of the vibe I get idea about trans people, a totally not related to trans issues reason why MAGA is good for women? Here you go. Put your script about trans people down and try and actually engage.
Why? That is what a woman, you don't even know what a woman is.
Great. So John, actually, you don't know what a woman is.
I want my daughter.
Great. So you're muted again, John. if you want to continue the conversation, your question is, why should promise not, or rather, why should you promise join MAGA? You have been informed the trans issue ain't going to do it. If you want to discuss the trans issue in more detail, call on one of the more trans thematic shows. Why should promise, who doesn't agree with you on trans issues, and you are very much the one who doesn't know what a woman is, why should promise care about MAGA and become MAGA? If all you have is trans, then you've basically lost here. If you can only say that trans issues is the only basis upon which a woman should be MAGA, then you've lost.
Technically, that wasn't even a trans issue. You said something about men going into bathrooms, which is not a thing. And also, do you think that a sign on a door is what's going to keep a predatory man out of a bathroom? Like, that's hilarious.
Right. A male who's a predator is going to see that sign and go like, oh man, I got to trick my way in there. You're brilliant, John. So John, what is an actual reason that a woman should join MAGA?
I tell you what, if a trans man walked into the bathroom with my daughter and me in there, I would beat him down. That's
good.
What I would do. If I saw a trans man going in with my daughter,
now we have to explain to John terms. A trans man wouldn't go into a women's bathroom because trans men are men. They go into men's bathroom. And a trans woman going into a women's bathroom is going in there to poop or to piss or to do whatever other things that have nothing to do with your daughter. And again, in lots of places with unisex bathrooms, this isn't an issue. So all we are finding out, John, isn't that the crimes we need to worry about are the crimes that trans people are going to commit against cis people. John, you've just admitted you would commit a crime against trans people. So the danger with trans people is you. You're the criminal in this situation, which, by the way, statistics also back up. A trans person is way more likely to be a victim of sexual assault than to sexually assault somebody. A trans person is way more likely to be a victim of regular physical assault, like you're describing, than to assault somebody. You have just admitted that the criminals you need to worry about because of trans people existing isn't the trans person, it's you, John. So, John, why should we care what a person who's admitted to desiring to be a criminal on the basis of a bigoted ideology, why should we vote with that guy?
Well, of course, you're taking things out of context, right?
I'm taking it out of context. You just said you would commit a crime.
We had all the context. There's no other...
What? Because a man has no way of being in a girl's bathroom. A man has no reason to be in a girl's bathroom. Just like a man has no reason to play sports.
John,
like
I'm ready to. So this was supposed to be John. I need you to calm down. I understand this can be emotional, but like let's take a breath. I'm ready to move on from that point because this was supposed to be my conversation with you where you try to convince me. I'd like to help you. Let's look for another thing because you mentioned your daughter. Clearly, that's something that's important to you. And if you are worried about her being assaulted, I want to ask you, do you know the most likely place that your daughter, I don't know how old she is, but let's say when she's my age, where she's most likely to be assaulted? Like you're worried about happening in the public restroom. Do you know where she's actually most likely to be assaulted?
Where's the most likely she's going to be assaulted? I kept hearing beeps. I don't know. What was it? Your question again? I'm sorry.
So your daughter, if your concern here is your daughter being somewhere and being assaulted, do you know where that is most likely to happen to an adult woman?
Probably where there's a bunch of drunk men, is my opinion.
No, in her home or in somebody else's home, usually that she's seeing. Usually somebody that she's seeing. Okay. I'm talking about women now. I don't know how old your daughter is, and we don't have to go there. I'm not going to get into your privacy. So can you let me know? Because that is something I value, is like this, something like that happening to women. Can you tell me what Trump has done to make your daughter safer in that situation where she's most likely to be assaulted?
Oh, this is easy. This is so
I would
easy.
like to hear.
You gave me this one. on a silver
Why you need preamble?
He is actually.
John, this isn't a gotcha.
What?
This isn't a gotcha.
Let
I'm
me
asking
finish.
you an actual question.
Because he is, he's bringing law enforcement back to craze-filled cities like Washington, D.C., Portland. Now he's going to Memphis, a red state, or Tennessee, Memphis,
Okay,
Tennessee,
so
a red state.
I have to pause you for a second, John.
Because they hold back. Hold on, can I finish? You don't even let me
John,
finish, though. Promise?
Yes,
like, you
because
don't let
that's
me
how we
finish.
do this.
You guys are such.
Well, I'm muting you. Because this is how a conversation works. You get to make a point, and then I'm going to say something back. You said he's bringing law enforcement back. I don't want to waste your time because I don't think you understand maybe how assault in a home works. Usually you're with a partner. Most of the time it's repeated. It's over and over and over again across months, weeks, sometimes even years, and there is no law enforcement in your home. It's one thing if you can even call and trust them, but they're not there. I'm asking what kind of policies have been implemented to ensure that your daughter is going to have an easier time finding partners that love and respect her and aren't going to harm her. Like, what policies have been implemented to address that issue? Because that's a very real issue.
That's a really very real issue, and it doesn't have to do with policy. It has to do with
yes, it does.
the nuclear family.
No. Sorry. Yes,
family.
it does have to do with
a
policy.
Man in a house. No, what?
It absolutely does have to do with policy.
No, it's statistic. Policy,
what's your point? A man in the house. I'm listening. A man in the house.
A man in the house supporting traditional values. And I actually learned this at a liberal college. It was actually gender
John,
economics.
can you make your point? I don't need to know where you learned it. What is
my point is,
man in the house?
The statistics say, let me finish. In gender economics, where it's totally liberal, totally leftist, they say, in my studies, it is the child is more well to be off if they have a father, a biological father, and a biological mother in the home. The study is a fact that person will have a more successful life.
John,
hang on, I've muted John again because people right now must be very, very confused, and so I just want to lay it out for everybody who is confused. John has been asked about domestic violence victims, where women are most likely to have domestic violence committed upon them. And what he doesn't seem to be understanding is anything, first of all. But second of all, that he's asked about a woman with a man. He's now adding a child into the mix, saying the nuclear family, but we're actually talking about a model that begins as the nuclear family because these stats specifically are about women in heteronormative relationships with men.
Right.
And so Promise has asked him how Trump and his policies are helping women, helping that stat. Now, one of the things he said was law enforcement. However, that doesn't actually really add up since the money going to law enforcement came after the administration cut. It was $800 million of services that specifically go to prevention of domestic violence, specifically go to making sure that domestic violence victims have resources that they can call. But instead, he's just going, it has nothing to do with that, nuclear family. So this problem exists, and he thinks if, I guess, you force everyone into a nuclear family right now, 50 years from now, the world will just be perfect, even though all the queers will have either, I guess, been put in prison or killed themselves because they're so unhappy in society, because the type of relationship he wants to have and is compatible with his Christianity, he thinks should be forced on everybody. I guess that must be what John is into. But John basically has been asked the equivalent of what is your favorite food, and instead answered that his favorite part of the train is the caboose. Does not actually understand the question he was asked, but he knows if he says a lot of buzzwords and keeps going on and keeps gish galloping, when we then interrupt to try and get him on track, he can go, wait, can I finish? You guys are terrible. Can I finish? Can I make this about how I'm being oppressed, not getting to make my points that are totally unrelated? And so far, he hasn't been able to engage on why women should like the Trump administration. I got to tell you, I think a lot of women are bothered by the fact that pedophiles are more comfortable living under Trump than they were before. You know, I think that's actually going to bother the quote unquote 90% of women that he was claiming don't like trans women in their bathroom. But yeah, John doesn't really know how to engage. I'm going to promise, definitely feel free to take back over, and we'll see if John can actually give a shot at anything here. of actually engaging purposefully and on the topic instead of just trying to repeat and showing to everybody that he legitimately does not know the fuck what he's talking about. Go ahead, Promise. What were you going to say?
Oh, I thought we were going to let him back on to try. He can go ahead and get to whatever he was maybe saying.
Oh, he's just going to complain about being muted and not being allowed to finish again. So I assumed you would want to start back with another question. Hi, John. Do you think this time you could actually answer?
You guys are funny.
Do you think you could actually answer the question?
I'm trying to.
Well, you haven't tried so far. You keep saying, "Can I finish?" But you don't actually start.
Would you shut your damn mouth? You are.
Oh, you know what I will do is mute you whatever the fuck I want. Oh no, well I can force you to shut your mouth. Did you know that, John? That's not how this works. If you're just going to sit there and whine and still not engage, and you're going, I'm trying to, let me finish. Well, actually,
and he started his sentence. He started his sentence with a child, and I specifically said earlier, I said, I don't know how old your daughter is, so let's say when she's grown, when she's my age. And he's going back to this whole about like nuclear family thing, and that's not resolving any issues. In fact, when I experienced abuse in relationships, it was within Christian, conservative, traditional values, traditional gender roles relationships. That's when I experienced abuse. So again, you're losing me there. I'm waiting for some kind of policies you're going to let me know about how Trump has implemented this new training for cops that teaches them how to detect the likelihood of domestic violence reoccurring in a home or something like that. I'm like waiting for some kind of cool policy like that to hear about it that maybe I just have not found. And I'm not hearing that. So John, if we can get back on track.
Let me unmute him in a second, but first let me just say to the people watching right now, if you are capable of being more honest than John, if you're capable of actually engaging, answering the questions, because right now John's setting us for a slam dunk. He's going to not list policies. I'm going to end his call when we get there with all of the policies that have hurt women. So he's going to keep avoiding the issue. He's going to keep trying to bastardize things. He's going to keep trying to say trans women are terrible and the nuclear family is what we need, even though they're not relevant. And then the call is going to end with all of the ways I would have answered the question in the inverse, how easy it is to actually answer these questions when you engage honestly. I believe there are MAGA people out there capable of being honest and less hormonal and emotional than John is, because John is clearly too hormonal to have these conversations. So I think if you want to be that person, you can call in at 33654 32101, 33654-32101, and I want to have that conversation with you. A calm, collected, back and forth, policy versus policy, all of that. You can definitely do that. So now that we have gotten there, we will try and unmute again. Did I hit it? I think I hit it. John, welcome back. Do you have your emotions and your hormones kind of regulated now?
Whatever you say, guys. Whatever you say. What do you, I get what you're doing, and it's just like you guys don't even want to conversate. That's the problem.
John,
I don't know why you're saying narrative, just like CNN.
John, I have barely spoken, and I've just
let me finish.
No, we're not going to let you finish on an irrelevant point. You are now back to whining about the call instead of making an actual point. And you can sit there and go, it's you guys, but we have hundreds of examples of callers who call in, and when they engage honestly and actually back and forth, they get to make all of their points. But you go, let me finish my point about how shitty you guys are. No, John.
I'm known on this channel I'm known for taking the most amount of time with the callers that will engage honestly, regardless of how far we are in our agreement. Like, we could have a long, pleasant conversation about this, even still disagree, maybe who knows where we would end on it, but just like we can tone it down a notch. And if you can just respond to what we're saying, that's my big pet peeve, is I'm making it really easy for you to answer things. And you're just taking time to talk about all kinds of other stuff and telling me that some study, some statistic is really liberal. I don't care. I don't want you to give me a study just because it's, quote, liberal. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. I want you to give me a peer-reviewed study that is factually correct. And I don't really care about anything other than that. I want to know where you got these statistics, and I want to know how they're relevant to what we're talking about. I don't need a preamble. I don't need anything. I just need direct answers about what I'm asking so we can figure out what it is that you think about all of this. The question is, what policies is Trump implementing that are helping women that are assaulted in their own homes?
Can you hit the unmute on messaging, Luthien?
I did.
Hello? Oh, we're
Go
still
ahead,
on.
John.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I was talking to my.
So the question is, what policies?
Yeah.
What policies is Trump implementing that are helping women that may get assaulted in their own house, which is the most likely place for them to be assaulted in a residential space, their own place or like a partner's place?
So, because of the law enforcement, if a woman calls, there's actually enough law enforcement to come and actually
the assault
do
has already
an
happened. Then, John,
instead of
John, that's not what I asked. That doesn't help.
Name the policy.
You guys
Name the policy.
Are not even I am naming the policy.
No, you aren't. You're just broadly saying there's more law enforcement, which isn't true. There's not more law enforcement for domestic violence cases, and there aren't more resources for people who are victims of domestic violence to actually reach out and feel confident in those resources. In fact, Donald Trump has cut those resources.
This is the fact. You want facts, okay? You want to know facts, right? Somebody that goes to a Christian organization.
Let me say one thing real quick. I'm going to pause you, and then you can get to the facts about Christian organizations. But it doesn't matter. Even if he was able to say that, yes, there's more cops or something. Did he hang up? Because he doesn't want to actually answer my questions. So here's where I was going to go. The assault has already occurred now. My question wasn't, what can we do after to help women? That's another really important thing, and we should talk about that too, which that wasn't even happening. But the question is, what is happening to prevent that from ever happening? I see things encouraging more of it from this president, but
yeah, as I was starting to say, by the way, there isn't more law enforcement because National Guard can't do shit about it. Their presence is on the street, and it's basically just like it's mostly for looks as quote unquote backup. As far as the thing he was going to say, it still wasn't a policy. A person who goes to a Christian organization can't even imagine where he thought he was going to get a good point there, because a lot of Christian organizations have a don't get the police involved policy. And woman after woman after woman, of course, John doesn't listen to actual women. That's why he will confidently say 90% of women, and then something that women don't 90% support. But anyway, woman after woman report that when they go, they get some combination of like, here's what you should do to change to make sure that you're getting domestic violence happening on you less often. Like, where's your part? Where's your part in his sin? And let's keep it out of the police. Let's keep it out of there. Let's just make you more happy with. There's a literal fucking Lori Alexander makes the YouTube videos where she's basically described women just becoming content with being raped and abused in their marriages, right? That's actually the broad Christian response.
Right. The Bible is used all the time the Bible is used to justify literally hitting women. There's an amazing book that covers a lot of this. I cannot remember. I think it's called A Good Wife or something, Tia Levings. But she talks about her experience where the Bible is used and quoted to you by your husband as he's physically assaulting you. So, let's talk about the Christian organizations. All I have are women after woman after woman after woman coming to me with their stories, growing up in these Christian organizations, and how they were made not only to not feel safe when they were assaulted, but they were told that it was their fault and that they needed to endure and protect their husband. So,
right. By the way, the way John gets emotional,
we never got to have the conversation because he couldn't do it.
Engage directly. While I won't say I know for sure what's happening in any of his relationships, I didn't walk away feeling his daughter or any woman in his life is actually safer right now under the Trump administration. than they would be before. So just a few things. And by the way, that number is still open, 33654-32101. All you have to do is engage directly and honestly and not whine about, I'm not allowed to obfuscate. I'm not allowed to just go off and gish gallop about things that aren't the actual question. There are hundreds of calls on this channel on between here and the line of people who call in and engage honestly, and they get to make their points and everything. They don't get to just shout over and make up dumb shit. So as far as things go, as I mentioned, the $800 million cut from domestic violence shelters, crisis hotlines, legal aid, and a bunch of other survivor support services. Literally, those things have been cut. Then when it comes to the DEI stuff that they're doing and that they're making cuts to, it is kind of, we don't know if it's actually indirectly, accidentally. It kind of seems pretty on purpose, if you ask me. But it's like, oh no, in trying to like cut out this DEI thing, we've cut a bunch of health resources for women because it mentioned women, because it mentioned these things. So there have been a huge amount of people and queer people who have been cut off from shelter eligibility also because of the DEI restrictions that they're trying to do. When it comes to reproductive health care, I didn't even get into this, but Roe v. Wade being overturned is still Trump's fault, despite the fact that it happened under Biden, after putting a radical Supreme Court in, stealing a Supreme Court justice, mind you, also from Obama. And don't get me wrong, I'll also mention that Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a piece of shit for not seeing the writing on the wall and retiring at a time that was more appropriate, that would have protected. It didn't have to be, she didn't have to be the woman in that seat. There was definitely a woman who would have taken the seat and done a good job in her place, and her holding that position, basically making Amy Coney Barrett the person who is going to be able to make overturning Roe v. Wade they're able to act like it's a woman's issue because she's the one who made the difference. That was a disgusting thing that she did too. But Donald Trump it is still his judges that overturned it. So losing not just abortion services, even if you don't agree with abortion, the way they have radically taken it away to where now you even have people having to move states because their life is actually in danger, because there are places doing blanket bans and everything. And that even you have that Republican woman, I think it was down in Georgia, saying like, well, because the left overreacted to what we did, I got put in danger with my own pregnancy when I needed care. I think she had an ectopic pregnancy. But it's only because they made it so scary that the law, like somehow blaming the left's reaction for how harsh the rights laws got, because it's always everybody else's fault. Also, contraceptive coverage has been reduced, and they are trying to make sure right now they're trying to fuck up the ACA, as well as the way Medicare and Medicaid are, when they're taken away from women, it's taken away slightly different than the way it's taken away from men, and they're trying to reduce the number of people who do deserve to be on those programs to as much as possible. They've also reduced workplace protections for pay equity and parental leave. This is definitely affected. So now, where before there would have been an automatic investigation triggered into whether or not different harassment things were happening, you no longer have to. You no longer are required to. The law is not. Basically, these investigations are now voluntary. And so this is going to basically make it so that workplaces that go in the past have been like, are we not giving women as many advantages because we have basically a boys club, and should we try and work on that? Because if it becomes too obvious that is what's happening, let's address the cultural issue now while it's smaller before it becomes engraved and bigger and becomes a legal issue. That's no longer a threat to them. And so the sort of natural culture, not even intentional, but the fact that most people are naturally sexist and racist and other things, it affects those things as well. It is going to further allow those things to happen. They're attempting to roll back Title IX sexual assault guidelines, thereby weakening protection for survivors on college campuses. So if you're a big fan of what that Brock kid did that one time, the Republicans are the party for you, because more sexual assault on college campuses, that's the MAGA way. And basically pretending, like the last caller did, that domestic violence and sexual assault are border security issues, are because immigrants are, even though it's not happening, the immigrants are the ones doing it. Again, it's happening in their own home. By attaching it all to that, it's taking completely away the focus from where we actually could could handle things. And then reduction of grants and toward women's advocacy groups as well. So it's literally a large list of ways women have been hurt, and I can't think of a single thing in which women have been enhanced. So if you have it, we'll go for a little bit longer. She can't do all day. I wish she would. How much time you got left in you?
I got like less than an hour. I could go to like 12:30 my time.
The person who had called in on immigration before did quit. I guess they were maybe upset they didn't get the next call. They were take me next or not at all. They did quit, but we have lines open right now. If you can call in and tell us why MAGA would be good for women, and not sit there and complain about when you don't answer the actual question, you being asked to answer the actual question, and not spend the majority of your time whining
on everything but what we were talking about on that call. I want to go back and like time it and see. That's my only, I feel like I'm really chill and I'm pretty calm having these conversations. The only thing that upsets me, upset is like a really vague term, but the only thing that bothers me is when people won't answer the one thing that I'm very like, my questions are pretty pointed. Like I'm there's like a yes or a no or a very clear statement that I'm looking for as an answer. It's not that difficult, but maybe people can't do it. Maybe everyone's afraid to call and talk to me. I'm back and they don't want me back. They don't want to talk to me. I don't know.
I have to say, I think I've just seen the first case of dead naming that I do support, besides calling Twitter, ex-Twitter, and calling the Mormons Mormons. So third case. It has been brought to my attention that Brock Turner is going by Alan Turner now. Brock Turner, who raped a woman and then basically got a slap on the wrist because the judge didn't want to ruin the young boy's life, is now going by Alan Turner. So I think we're just going to go ahead and dead name the fuck out of Brock Turner. Brock Alan Turner. That's wild. I did not know that. MAGA, we're ready for you. If you can call in and tell us why MAGA is good for women, that phone number right there, 33654-32101, 33654-32101. Let's go see if there are other super chats to answer while we wait for someone from MAGA to call in and prove us wrong on virtually anything. Michelle said, thank you for being an ally and creating an inclusive space. Thank you, Michelle. And listen, I do want to be a little bit cautious about how we call this space inclusive, which sounds crazy. There are people who aren't, man, it's hard to explain. Do you already kind of know where I'm going to go with this? If you are a trans person, we are definitely your ally. But if you are looking for a community where you won't be exposed to transphobia,
unfortunately, this is clearly not the place.
We're not going to welcome we're definitely not going to platform transphobes in that sense. They're not going to be hosts. But you are going to be exposed to transphobia, just like in the last call. If you are looking for a place to find respite and peace, it ain't here. It ain't.
And
this is very much
also if you
must have a thick skin to be here kind of place.
Yeah, and if you have religious trauma or traumatic experiences from your past associated with all of that, recovering from religion is your space. But these conversations, I fully respect people that decide, you know what, I can't hear this. This is too much for me. But that's why we're here. We've got some thick skin and we're having these, not to say that in a better or worse way. I think it actually means that we're like a little cuckoo. But we're having these conversations because somebody has to have them with these people. And Jimmy and I are messed up enough that we enjoy it.
I'm going to write, so the new one is, will you vote for Trump if he runs for a third term? If you want to help us get this onto more people's feeds to potentially get more callers, first of all, you can click the like button now, participate in the poll. If somebody answers yes on that poll, voting for him if he runs for a third term, we would very much like it if you would call us and explain to us why you would support him, because we're talking about him basically wiping his ass with the Constitution. So we would like you to call in and justify him being in for a third term, and explain to us upon what basis you think that would be a good thing, or anything else. that we disagree with you on. That phone number is on the screen, 33654-32101. So easy to remember. So easy. And a reminder to those that this Saturday during the No Kings protest, we are going to be doing a fundraiser for the Secular Student Alliance. And we are going to be on most of the day having fun, chatting. The link has been put in the live chat a few times. We'll go ahead and make sure, Luthien, if you can add the link to the description as well. But that's already up. You can go and donate now. We are donating the super chat revenue from this episode to that fundraiser. Unfortunately, the YouTube does not allow you on a vertical stream to take donations from the phone specifically. It's really, really dumb. And I don't know if they know that's a problem. I certainly am going to message somebody, but I don't know how long it takes for a YouTuber like me for that to get up anywhere. Anyway, Herbie said, only just saw this was live. Dang you, Snowman. It must be your fault. Wait, I think I recognize the other host. Isn't she Finnish? I'm going to let you finish in a minute.
Wow. Wow.
Good old Kanye. This said, two of my favorite hosts. Have a good one, friends. Fuzzy Logic. Also, Lewis was wrong. It's not border crossings that are down to almost zero. It's apprehensions. ICE and Border Patrol have been doing deportation raids instead of border ops. Coincidence? Yeah, I was going to say there isn't that much happening at the border itself. It's not like they've overstaffed it or anything. They're just deporting it like crazy and making America too much of a shithole for anyone to want to immigrate to, and ruining our economy along the way. Aaron, in his own example, a man is in the woman's room with his daughter. Right. Yeah, he's running in there to commit the crime. He's the man in the woman's room committing the crime that he is saying, we got to worry about men committing crimes in women's room. It's very funny.
Also,
that
one of the highest risk factors for somebody committing domestic violence against a partner is anger and hostility.
Yeah.
And this guy was like not able to keep that under control enough to have a conversation with me about this issue that he agreed was really, really important, and acting like he cares about his daughter so much that he said he would kill somebody if they walked into the bathroom that she's in. Something really extreme like that. I don't remember exactly what he said. We can go back for the clip, but and then
today's show, he said that he would beat the shit out of them. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So commit a crime against somebody for walking into a room.
I said you would go to prison for assault.
Right. Acting like that's how much he cares. He just cares so much about his daughter. And then I give him an actual likely scenario, one of the more likely ones out of the scenarios that were presented today, and is unable to actually offer up anything, clearly hasn't thought about this. And it's very frustrating because I feel so many issues that I care about and things that I think all people should care about don't end up getting addressed, because instead they just stop at transphobia. Like, oh, I just want to be angry about something, so I'm going to pretend like I care about women by getting enraged about this issue that is a non-issue.
By the way, John has said he would, if a trans woman goes into a bathroom, he would walk into that bathroom and beat the shit out of them. So the question is now, how has John confirmed they're a trans woman? John has literally admitted, essentially, that cis women are in more danger because of him and people like him. Because how is he deeming they're trans? Right? Let's think about that.
Right.
How is John deciding a woman is trans or not? So if you're a masculine-looking woman, a butch lesbian, for example, you have the parts that he demands you have had since you're a child, because unfortunately people like John are somewhat obsessed with baby genitals. It's pretty weird how much time they think about a baby's genitals.
Almost
he
as much as RFK Jr. lately.
Right. Cis women are in more danger because if he apparently thinks he would then be able to. And it's just every step of his thing is stupid, because it's like, okay, so you'd go in and you're bragging you would commit a crime and you go to prison. So now let's return to the point of how important it is for there to be a father in the home. You've just admitted that over somebody wanting to poop, you'll go to prison. So that's how important it is does someone need to poop? And then you'll no longer be in the home for your child. Like there isn't an angle by which his dumb shit comes together.
Right. And it's more likely in that scenario, like, then I'm presenting a scenario where the father is the one assaulting somebody in the home. That's not solving the issue here. That's not what I was talking about. But it was just a complete inability to actually stay on topic or actually have a real opinion about what I was asking. I wanted a genuine answer. And it could have been, you know what? I actually don't know on this issue. Let's pick something else that I think would be a good reason for you to be MAGA. But instead of being honest and saying that, which is fine, you don't have to know all the, like, maybe that isn't an issue you care that much about and you don't know. Just say that. Like, being honest would have gotten you so much
hate
farther.
trans people and you have nothing else, right? You hate these
Which
people
is
you
what your
don't
point was
understand
from the
because
beginning.
somehow it emasculates you and you're terrified that you might accidentally be attracted to one of them one day. Like, that's what it is. Just admit that and let's move on. Megos wrote Jimmy Exmo in Utah here. My people, until they rename the Book of Mormon the Book of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they're only Mormons, LOL. Look, I actually am fine with them not taking that label because I've picked it back up. I just tell people I am a Mormon now. I'm an atheist,
That's
queer,
so funny.
Mormon. You know what? It is funny, but to me, it's also a little. I'm a little serious because I don't believe in Mormonism.
I know,
or
that's
anything.
why I think it's funny.
But I've noticed that, like, even amongst progressive Mormons, I have more in common with a progressive Mormon than I have, at least as a foundational commonality, that we understand each other in a certain way because we know what bullshit, essentially. They don't know it's bullshit. We were raised on together. And there is like an automatic, I kind of brought it up after that happened in what state was it? Where was it in Michigan? That where did that Mormon church just get massacred and MAGA moved on right away because they don't
I think
actually
it was
believe
Michigan.
So
right.
When that happened, I still had this shit of like, oh man, my people got hit, which is weird because like we don't really have atheist churches, but I feel like it hit me harder than if an atheist church had gotten hit, which is sad because death is sad. But I'm sitting here going like foundationally a bunch of children, a bunch of people who are raised on the same Kool-Aid as me, who understand something about the upbringing, the same as me, got hit. And there is, so now I just go with like, no, I'm an atheist Mormon. I actually am, because to me, Mormonism isn't just do I actively believe, it's this we grew up in a cult together, guys.
You're culturally Mormon.
Right. Culturally Mormon is what I am. Big CULT, culturally Mormon. So if they don't want the thing, I will keep saying it. Lewis had written, I don't know what McClellan's motivation for being Mormon is, but I'm glad to learn that it's similar. No. You aren't learning that it's similar. For the record, Dan McClellan is not a Mormon like me.
I'd be glad to.
I'd be glad. No, okay. Well, Lewis, just so you know, it's not similar. And I actually do not support Dan McClellan. And Dan McClellan has been, that people have requested him be on the show. And I've said no, because Dan McClellan, I have confirmed, pays 10% of all the income that you guys are giving him. He's building his living off of a mostly atheist, secular, and skeptical community. And 10% of it is going to the queer hate group that is the Mormon Church. And I told him if he'd have a discussion with me directly about it, I would not call him out on it. I talked to him about it. I'd probably have to put up lines, but that would be the thing. And instead he tried to do it through other people who then guilted me and said it was none of my business. It's like acted like it was shitty of me to ask if he's paying tithing to the Mormon Church. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Me, a queer, can't ask if he's paying the church he says he belongs to, who is a hate queer group? That's fucked up for me to do, and I should just platform him, even though the money he would make from me platforming him might also go to that queer group. So now I am fully like calling that guy. I'm fine calling that guy out until he says he has stopped funding their queer hate. When he comes up, I'm sorry, but fuck that guy. Yeah, exactly. Turn your own critical eye on your own belief system. Making an exception for faith is absolutely fucking wild. Frank says, hi guys, love your show. What do you do when you're around MAGA family members you know will never be convinced they're delusional? I don't talk to my MAGA family anymore. And I think Promise is not here. I think I could answer what you're saying. I think Promise would probably say we don't talk about politics.
I think I don't know where I'm at with a lot of things right now. So that's one that's, I don't know where I'm at with all of that. I'm living in another country, so I'm not having to worry about that so much. they don't necessarily like reach out all the time. When they do, it's cordial. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going to stand on all of that. There's a lot going on there that I'm just not going to talk about right now.
So we'll take this next call, but MAGA, if you're ready to call, the bar has been set super low. It would be super easy for you to have a good conversation where you actually talk to us. If you disagree with us on anything, I have yet to hear a single, they're posting it everywhere, but none of you Trump supporters will actually call and defend that Donald Trump deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Not one of you so far have done that I have seen anyway. And I would absolutely love to hear your defense of Donald Trump receiving a Nobel Peace Prize and upon what basis you would do that. I'm waiting for it. But in the meantime, we'll talk to George in Ohio. George in Ohio, calling in on the trans issue again. I prefer people call on the days that is more thematic, but George in Ohio, you are on the line with Promise and Jimmy.
Well, can I touch on the Nobel Peace Prize thing really quick since you mentioned it?
Do you believe Trump deserves the Nobel Prize?
In a sense, yes. I'm not MAGA, but I don't see, well, if you look at what happened with he did help negotiate some kind of peace deal. He won't stop talking about it.
Sure.
And I think
after what?
For what it's worth, he did, with the 28 hostages released. I think when you add it up this, with other presidents that have won the Nobel Peace Prize, I don't see where it's a lot of a difference of what they've done compared to what he's done.
So let's talk about it, George. Let's talk about it. First of all, you said 28 hostages. How many hostages did Biden get released?
I think like 140, but wasn't it like some on the other side, which will be looked at unfavorable to the nuts that support Trump and things of that nature?
I don't understand what question you just asked. Can you restate it?
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. What I was saying I think it was like around 140, but
okay,
weren't they like hostages from the other side too involved? I can't remember exactly what it really was.
I don't know how that would be relevant because Israel is also giving thousands for those 28 that Gaza is giving back. Israel is releasing thousands of what were hostages. Like most of them are not. Yes, there were some that were convicted of crimes or at least alleged to have committed crimes, but most of them are just there in holding. By the way, often psychologically tortured, told their entire families were killed and everything. So Israel is giving thousands of hostages back as well. Biden got 168 hostages returned alive. And there's about 20. So would you say Biden deserves the Nobel Prize for getting so many more?
I mean, you could say that, but the problem I keep having with
no, just a yes or no. Does he deserve
Democrat side?
Does he deserve
it? All right. Under what I've said, yes.
Okay, what would make it not under what you said? Is there more that you could say that would take it away from him?
I think what they've done with, like, Obama had gotten the Nobel Peace Prize for what? I can't remember what he even got it for.
Most people can't. And by the way, Obama didn't deserve it. Biden doesn't deserve it. Trump doesn't deserve it, is my position. Biden got it before all of that. Biden got it, or rather, Obama got it before we knew what a war criminal he was going to be, before all of the drone usage, before the disgusting attitudes towards basically brown civilian life in the Middle East. So Obama didn't deserve it. None of them deserve it. And here's my reasoning with you, and then we can hopefully get to whatever you're
giving it out like a Grammy or something. It's like they're giving it out like a Grammy. Like it should go to whoever, campaigns the best for it or whatever, or who's in that position. That's why I think Trump should get it. He did something.
It shouldn't be who campaigned for it. And here's why Trump shouldn't get it, and Biden shouldn't have gotten it either, even though he did. Not only did he get more hostages released, but they've basically copy and pasted his ceasefire plan, and they built the framework in the first place. If anything, Donald Trump took longer to get it into place than it looked like. Not only that, but like the immigration deal, there was a ceasefire agreement that we were headed toward. Netanyahu goes to Mar-a-Lago, and Trump essentially goes, it will not benefit me if this happens under Biden. Don't do it now. Netanyahu's a genocidal maniac, stoked to hear that, and that he would have more power if Trump wins, and happy to oblige. But here's the main reason why. George, if I hire Promise to beat the shit out of you every day, and then one day I make you and her.
Like it. Sorry, no.
Okay, don't be weird about it. George, if I hire Promise to beat the shit out of you to the point where you don't like it and aren't a fucking creepy weirdo, and this is why trying to talk to men is fucking awful. Anyway, George, she's beating the shit out. Let's go with stabbing you every day, not fatally, completely, but making your life worse and closer to fatal each and every time, every day.
Steal his money every day. That would be.
No,
let's do that.
I like stabbing. Stabbing works better.
Okay, great.
Better for the metaphor.
Okay. Yeah, stabbing you every day. I don't like penetration. I hear you.
George, are you capable of not being fucking creepy? Great. Now we're switching it. So now it's going to be, if you're going to be creepy, I'll flip back. Promise is paying me to stab you every day, George. Promise pays me every day to stab you. And then one day Promise goes, you know what? You two, it's time to make peace. I'm going to keep paying in case he wants to stab you. But you two, you need to make peace. Does Promise deserve an award when she's the one funding me stabbing you all the time because she made you and I make peace? Or in that scenario, is she the violent maniac behind the scenes? And now we're supposed to pretend she's wonderful because she got tired of the stabbing and how bad it's making her look.
Well, I never said he was wonderful, but I mean, given your analogy, I'll say
Donald Trump was paying for a genocide. He is still willing to continue to fund it, but now we have by the way, the war isn't over. A treaty hasn't been signed, but there's a general idea of a ceasefire happening. And we're basically celebrating like, okay, the genocide is maybe going to slow down and we're just going to go back to apartheid and open air prison. What has he actually accomplished in any of these? By the way, of the 7 wars he ended, how many of the 7 wars that he claims ended is there an actual treaty that is the standard by which we know a war has ended? Do you know?
Maybe none.
0. So why are we giving the Nobel Prize to him in general? The Nobel Prize is giving it to, even though she did her stupid thing where she dedicated it to Trump, it's to people who actually show bravery in a pursuit of peace, not people who are like, I'm going to show how big my dick is with my military fund. And unfortunately, he didn't reflect it to reality or we wouldn't be in this mess. He overcompensated.
But you're talking about real people. You're talking about real thoughtful people, real serious people. That's not what we're dealing with. Serious.
I don't understand what this point is.
This is a whole different ballgame.
Who are you saying are the really serious screwed up people?
You talk about this figurative idea of who deserves a Nobel Peace Prize. Yes, Obama didn't deserve it overall. Yes, Trump doesn't deserve it overall. But given the rules that, right. Given the rules that have been placed before us, the rules that we have to basically play by, and that you could see now playing out before us, especially with Trump and this regime.
But George, we're
not speaking the same language.
No, but even if we I'm tracking what you're saying. But George, even if we go with that and we say like, okay, you get it if you fit these rules and you think that happened. What Jimmy just pointed out is that wouldn't you qualify it as cheating if you are basically funding, if you are behind the instigator of something and you're supporting them, and then you withdraw that support and now claim that you're the hero when really all you did was what you should have never entered into to begin with. How does that make you the good guy? Isn't that cheating? It's like you've conjured up what's your evidence that Trump didn't start funding that just so that he could stop? I'm not saying I think this, but just so he could stop, take it away and say, now I get the Nobel Peace Prize. Do you see what we're saying here about why would you qualify for something when it's that messy?
It is cheating in a sense, in the real world, but Trump is the referee. He's the one making the rules. He's moving the goalposts. The goalposts.
Do you
is where
think that's
he says
right?
it is. That's
Do you think that's right?
I think it's horrifying. I think it's horrifying, but I think it's reality.
Okay, then he doesn't deserve it.
George, who do you think issues the Nobel Peace Prize?
I agree that he didn't deserve it, but we're not in the world.
You agree he doesn't deserve it, which is already our point. George, who do you think is in charge? Problem. Who decides who gets the Nobel Peace Prize?
Trump decides. He's going to figure out some way, and he's going to get it.
No. Who is in charge?
It already was given out.
Who actually decides who gets the prize? What body is in charge of who gets the prize?
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know about that, really. I'm not sure.
This must be where all of this frustration is coming. I think you think the Nobel Peace Prize is an American prize that somehow Americans decide or vote on, or Congress participates in. Is that correct? Is that what you were thinking?
I don't. No, I don't.
Then I don't understand what you're saying about who campaigns the best. He makes the rules. He gets to decide the rules. Just so you know, it's created by the Norwegian Nobel Committee. That's who. They are appointed by the Norwegian Parliament. It's 5 people. They're the ones who determine the rules. They're the ones who determine who gets it. And you're sitting here saying Trump gets to decide the rules and we need to give it to him for whatever reason. None of that is correct. And you certainly wouldn't go, as you're making the rules, I got to think, as a prize that's called peace.
Doesn't deserve it, and I bet you he'll get it.
What's that?
He's agreeing with us. He says he doesn't think he deserves it.
And I bet you somehow he'll get it. He'll get it.
It already happened and he didn't get it.
He didn't get it this year. Yeah, it's already been announced for this year. He didn't get it. I actually don't think he'll get it in future years. I don't think Norway is sitting there going, we need to make this guy happy. Americans really
Perhaps
think our politics and our inner country fights matter as much. The other countries care economically what happened to them, and they care that we keep our treaties and our security agreements. They don't care whether or not Norway isn't going to sit there and go, oh, I really have to. Unless, maybe Trump tries to cut them off from all. He's already doing that with tariffs.
Next door here in Finland, everyone's if you start talking about how Trump wants the Nobel Peace Prize, everyone here in Finland that I've talked to about it starts laughing. They think it's a joke. They think it's funny. And they're like, oh, that's hilarious. That's crazy. So it's not, I don't think he's gonna, I think this was, if anything, a definitive statement towards him not getting it. But
I'm sorry, Prams. I didn't mean to talk
George. No, it's okay. My last point, George, it sounds like we agree. I think the 3 of us all agree that Donald Trump does not deserve the Nobel Peace Prize.
So what did you call in on originally, since this seems to have not been an efficacious use of time?
I called to talk about the trans issue. I'm not transphobic in any way, but I did have some issues with the way it's presented. But I've got to go here soon. I don't think I have time.
That's
to
all right.
I got to watch my dog, and
we have a bona fide transphobe waiting in the queue. We can pull in instead, George. Do you want to give what your possible solution was, though?
Well, what I see that's happened is there's these people who they just can't get past the issue when it comes to sports, even though I agree with what a lot of people on the left say is that it's not this huge issue they're making it out to be, and there's a case here or there where something happened. But I think it should be based on, which will be boring. It shouldn't be based on almost like a Neil deGrasse Tyson idea. It should be based more on your size, your muscle mass, things of that nature, and not on male and female.
Okay. So call back on one of the trans days, because we have trans athletes and people, and I'd rather they give you their response to that. But in as much as the world is the way it is right now, and that's not going to happen anytime soon, I oppose segregation from trans people. There's already regulatory things in place to account for biological advantages and the like. And so, George, we'll let you go there and move on here.
Yeah, and,
thank you, George.
Well, I don't think that trans people should be segregated from anything. But thank you for talking to me. And I want to know, Promise and Jimmy, I have the utmost respect for you two. I watch you all the time, and I really like what you do. And thanks for talking to me.
Thanks, George. Don't be creepy next time, okay?
Thanks, George.
Bye, George.
Have a good one, George. Bye.
All right, we'll take David because I'm gonna have fun listening to you, David. Actually, I need to pee. I'm probably gonna leave you with David.
Oh God,
Luthien,
this is like my last call I got in me.
Probably, unless it gets ended super fast. David in Oklahoma, you are on the because it's gonna change the whole thing. David in Oklahoma, you're on the line with Promise and Jimmy. How are you, David?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. How's Oklahoma this time of year?
It's weather right now.
It's what?
We have really nice weather right now.
David, are you like watching on the TV or something and waiting to hear it on there? Because the delay between you and us is like way larger than normal.
No, I'm out in the middle of nowhere, and I have a very difficult time.
Okay. Well, we'll do our best with it. You can propose your thing, and Promise is probably going to end up having to do most of the talking because it's a multi-second delay. It's kind of wild. But Promise, why don't you go ahead with David from Oklahoma, who says MAGA and Christian beliefs ground women back to their core beliefs and that their virginity is a virtue.
Where do you want to start, David?
Yes. That's what I believe. I think that it helps bring women back to their core, to where that.
What's a woman's
that
core?
They
what does that mean?
That a woman's core is to make her understand that she's not just a product, that she's something that needs to be cherished.
What do you mean by cherished? This seems like really vague,
like
abstract talking, and I want to know like actual concrete things. What you mean by this? Is it cherishing women to remove their rights from them and to say that they shouldn't be able to vote, or to say that they shouldn't have the right to make decisions about their own bodies, or that they shouldn't have access to proper health care, or that they shouldn't have birth control if they want it? Is that cherishing a woman?
That is not about cherishing a woman. None of that is. It's cherishing a woman is to make her understand that she's more, like I said, more than just a product. That she.
Okay, how does MAGA make a woman feel?
Like,
David, you already said this. So how does MAGA help a woman not feel like she's just a product? And how did you determine that that's an issue that women face? I don't feel like I'm a product. I feel like men oftentimes think that, but I don't feel that way. That's not a concern of mine. So how is MAGA helping women not feel like a product?
To teach them that they don't need material things to have a good life.
I very much need material things. So again, very confused on how
that's
MAGA.
How you were raised to believe.
David,
yes,
we're talking so abstract that I need us to like pick something and talk about it really clearly. So let's talk about. You said MAGA's teaching women to not need material things to think that they have a happy life. I'm very confused because when I see, first of all, I disagree with that. I love having material things. It's great. I'm also content when I don't. I lived in the countryside all summer where I had an outhouse and nothing else basically. And it was really fun. I loved being outside. Now I'm living in the city and I just bought a bunch of new shit because I moved into a new apartment and that also made me happy. So I can't agree with that assessment. However, what's shocking to me is, even if that were true, if it was a good thing for women to think they don't need material things to be happy, how is MAGA teaching that when you have the first lady, who's always wearing designer stuff, very expensive things, lots of makeup, and I'm not criticizing her for these things. When you have Donald Trump taking the Oval Office and packing it to the brim with material objects of gold. Like, I'm not getting the messaging from MAGA that women shouldn't want material things when the majority of its front-facing women that have clearly spent a lot of money on cosmetic procedures. They have designer handbags. They're wearing expensive jewelry. So where is this messaging from MAGA that says you don't need material things?
It goes right back down to the Christian core beliefs, okay, where marriage means something, to where
David, did you listen to anything I just said?
One woman,
did
life,
you listen to
you
any?
David,
did you?
Let's do this. David, repeat Promise's question back and then answer it.
You out here, the material things makes a difference in MAGA core beliefs, I believe.
I don't think you listened to a thing she said, David.
My question is, how can you say that MAGA is an example for women of not needing material things when their front-facing women, their most public women, are decked out in copious amounts of material things? And the president, the MAGA president, has decked out the Oval Office in material things.
David, by the way, before you answer, when you do answer, if you don't know the answer, just say you don't know. I actually am kind of on your side on this thing, and I will give the answer. If you'd like, I'll answer for you.
I'll tell you what the answer is. The answer is that's not a MAGA thing. That's only my opinion.
Great. Well, you said it was a MAGA thing. But here's the answer I would give, Dave, because I actually think that you're right, that MAGA is allowing
back
women.
The Christian core beliefs.
Hang on, David, hang on. I actually think MAGA is resulting in women having to find more contentness in less material things, and here's why. MAGA is absolutely horrible for your income. MAGA is absolutely horrible for your spending power, because inflation is actually making it so hard to buy the things, like get all of your groceries and stuff. And so, like, your eggs, your basic foods, your basic necessities, you're spending so much money on the basics that Donald Trump promised he would reduce and hasn't, that now, because you have less money, you actually get to have less things. And so if you're going to be content, you have to be content with less material things, because Donald Trump is so bad for the economy. So I'm with you, buddy.
You're going to confuse him.
Well, that's one way of looking at it, and that's fine, and all good. The best way of looking at it is go to the Bible and say, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and give to God what is God's. Trying to keep money is a bad thing when it comes down to it. That's greed.
So, hang on, David. So you believe that MAGA is good because MAGA is more biblical? You believe MAGA is good because MAGA is more biblical. So please explain, and I'll give it back to Promise. Please explain to Promise why the Bible is what a woman should value for direction in her life, and how you know the Bible is true.
Oh, I could tell you things that you would never believe about the Bible. I can tell you right
you're
now
right. I
what's
probably
going
won't
on,
believe them. But David, I'm asking for something believable. David, you're not here to preach, and I'm just going to be done with this call because there's another caller that I'd love to get to if this isn't going to go well before I need to go to bed. But stop preaching and just answer the question. Why should I care what the Bible says? What is your evidence that the Bible is true?
When I said that we were living in the time of the horsemen, that's very true. The horsemen started in 2008 with Barack Obama.
What is your evidence? What is your evidence that is true?
He did not just say that.
Because it matches perfectly.
Matches what perfectly, David?
What happened? Okay. Okay. Barack Obama rode in on a white horse. Hope and change was his belief. That was his campaign. And everybody loved him.
There was no, where's the white horse?
Everybody loved
David,
him.
Where's the white
world
Do you have a
when he
picture?
became.
David, do you have a picture of Obama on a white horse?
No, this is all in the spirit. You must look beneath the outline. This is all spirit.
So you don't have any evidence. So you have no evidence, and you're taking some very vague statements.
Yeah,
you're taking some very vague
statements
and you're applying it to whoever you've decided, because we can go back 100 years and talk about somebody else and say that they came in and inspired that and talked about this and that and they are on a horse. We could say that about Donald Trump. We could say he's the first one because he came in saying he's going to make things great, and that's the white horse.
I'm the horseman. Prove I'm not the horseman, David.
No,
I have
Donald
ridden
Trump
the white
is the
horse.
third horseman.
David, prove that I'm not a horseman.
No, he's the
I have
sixth
ridden
one.
I've ridden white horses.
No. You guys like to make jokes out of this, but I was just trying to talk to you.
It's hard not to. You were asked for evidence.
It's really hard not to because you're not.
I know, it really is hard not to because it's hard to believe.
Oh,
it's
I
hard
think
to
you
believe
guys
things that you don't have evidence for.
Give me 2 minutes.
It's very difficult to believe things when you don't have evidence for them, David.
I just want to tell.
No, I don't want you on here to preach. I don't. I listen to preaching my whole entire life. I used to preach.
I don't want to preach.
The book of the Bible that you're preaching from is not even a prophecy. It was talking about something that had already happened. So I already know that you don't understand the context of what you're using to claim as prophecy. It wasn't a prophecy.
Oh, no.
You're taking something very vague.
The book of Revelation has not happened yet.
David, the book of Revelation isn't true.
The book of Revelation has not happened yet.
David, the book of Revelation isn't true.
The book of Revelation is completely true.
Okay, prove it.
You're not. Okay,
prove it.
I'm trying to. I said.
Well, you haven't. No, you have not begun trying to prove it. You've only stated what your interpretation of the Bible is. Your interpretation of a part that's not even literal.
My belief is my interpretation.
True.
My interpretation is of the Bible.
Say that anything is true. The Lord of the Rings is true.
Do you understand? If you don't want,
Trump is Saruman.
No, the Bible is true. It's a 2,000-year-old book that is still coming true today. And if I'm trying to explain to you that we live in the time of the horseman, I know it's hard to believe.
David, you haven't shared any proof.
Donald Trump is in the Bible.
All right, I'm bored. We're going to try and get this last caller. And David, that's not what proof is. By your method of proof, I can prove anything is true because I can just translate anything or interpret anything to mean anything.
Yeah, it's in the spirit. Jimmy and I are actually... We're the first and second horsemen, and there's only two, actually. Spoiler alert. Yeah. It's just us. And I know that because the spirit told me, actually.
Let's be clear. I'm the first one. What, the woman going to be first? Come on. All right. Bye, David.
You can be first because you had a YouTube channel before I was even an atheist, but that's the only reason.
Was a horse. That's the only reason. I'm older.
That's wild.
And my hair and my locks.
I didn't say because you're older. Are you even older than me? Your locks. Okay, pause real quick before this next call. Your hair looks so good, and I didn't get to say anything, but it looks extremely good. Like, I want to know what shampoo you're using. Kind of vibes.
About me having a secret
and you kind of do
girlfriend.
have like a little. You have like a little horseman vibe going on with your cute little lacy shirt.
Thank you. That was a reference to the podcast, by the way, people. Somehow there's a conspiracy that Alyssa and I are simultaneously dating, and I have a secret Japanese girlfriend, all from the same comment.
Also, did you see the comment today on this stream that said, I guess she had her baby, talking about me being back? So let's just make it known. I didn't disappear. I've heard this from multiple people now. They were commenting on my TikTok that I've been gone all summer because I went and secretly had a child. First of all, I've been actively on Instagram, visibly not having a child. But second of all, where did that
somebody who knows you've been going through that? So that's probably a joke. If you've addressed this elsewhere, I think
maybe
that our comment.
I have never addressed this. I haven't addressed this. No,
okay,
I
then
haven't
maybe not.
addressed it because it's been like stupid enough that I can just ignore it or delete it. But then I saw it and I'm like, is this a thing people actually are thinking? And I've had concerned messages like, because I realize people over on the line sometimes don't follow me anywhere else, which is sad, but that's okay. And maybe you guys don't realize I was gone all summer because I was writing. So anyways, I'm not a secret
Share,
Japanese,
baby.
what
Who
is
the
it?
father
Girlfriend
is,
or
shock you. It's Alyssa.
yes,
Okay.
that makes
Actually,
sense.
that wouldn't shock anybody. We don't feel like, yeah, we caught that vibe, guys.
I was about to say
We
that's
caught that.
that's best case scenario. I like this.
Oh yeah.
Okay, let's get through this call and I'm gonna fall asleep as soon as it's over.
Ed in Ohio, you're on the line with Jimmy and a Promise. How are you, Ed?
First and foremost, I want to say thank you, Jimmy and Promise, for allowing me the chance to come on here. I'm the host of Not News, and I just had a couple things that I wanted to reflect on some of the comments. And I'm actually very, very pro you guys' platform because it does follow the First Amendment. I am a conservative constitutionalist.
Okay. Your audio is terrible, so I will tell you, you got to work on that for whatever that podcast you were trying to plug in, which I'm not dumb. I know that's the real reason you're calling. But anyway, you should definitely work on that audio. What's going on over there?
I'm talking to you from my phone, and they told me not to use the speaker because they said the audio
Are you
will
in
be
a
bad.
car?
So I'm just talking to you from the phone. No,
You're
I
driving?
will be, though.
Well, you can't drive
Not
while we're
right now.
talking. We don't take calls while people are driving.
Okay. Yeah, so my point was, well, I'm going to put it on speaker just because I'd rather you have good audio than not.
Me
So,
too. Let's
give
see
me
what
a second.
happens.
All right, is that better?
It is slightly better.
Okay. Yeah, so I just had a comment about when Thomas was talking to the gentleman about the restroom incident or whatever or whatnot, and he was getting irate and upset and out of all sorts, having the trans person going into the restroom with his daughter, and then she made a comment about how does policy, how has MAGA moved policy to help women? I would like to know, my question is what policies can be implemented to help women in those types of scenarios that she spoke to him about?
Sure.
There's a lot of ones that go ahead, Jimmy.
I was just going to ask, did you hear the list of things that hurt, the things they did do that hurt after? Because we went through them. Because we literally had a list
the
of
main thing is
policies.
just like not.
I heard right. Right. I heard the whole list of things that did hurt. You were talking about Roe v. Wade and all of that and everything else.
Yeah, not taking away those policies would be number one.
Yeah.
Right. But what policy can you implement that can prevent people from doing crimes is my question.
There's all kinds of things that first of all, we can go and see how they've done it well in other countries and certain cities where they have different programs. Like I said, anger and hostility is a huge risk factor for domestic violence. And so having programs that help address that, providing life skills for kids when they're growing up on how to handle and process their emotions. Also, when people have general things in life taken care of, like food and healthcare, and their, work is going well and all of that, they tend to live more well-adjusted lives. So there's all kinds of policies that can have these different impacts on things. My point wasn't that I had some grand solution for this. He said that I should want to join MAGA because, of some sort of, I was hoping there would be some policies. So I was giving him a chance to give me some examples of what has Trump done to help women. Why should I be excited to join MAGA? What policies have been implemented to stop something that he's apparently concerned about, which would be women being assaulted?
Yeah, I can name you a huge list, though. One of the ones that Promise said, I assume it's because she's been watching lately and wanted to just steal my favorites, which is that become socialist. That's going to be the number one. Account for people's basic
I live in
needs.
Finland. That's why I feel that way.
I know, I was teasing. Healthcare. Make sure that people have healthcare, food, shelter, water, and access to like important public utilities like the internet, for example, and you see crime absolutely plummet. As long as there's economic security in the area, it increases happiness, it reduces stress. It's sort of one of these ways that, by the way, also tends to pay for itself. Investing in your own people tends to pay back dividends. And so that would be the start of it. Public education campaigns we know are very, very effective, teaching people how to even identify domestic abuse. Things that you might hear in church are acceptable, like spare the rod, spoil the child. Explain to them that that actually isn't. And that those sorts of things are illegal if we're talking about domestic abuse toward children, and also teach children what resources they have if they see domestic abuse happening in their house, say between their parents, how they can report it and how they can do so safely. On top of that, having programs for at-risk homes and mandatory, as I think Promise was mentioning, anger management and the like, where a social worker is monitoring that situation, everybody feels safe. And again, with those housing policies, having a place a person can go safely retreat to when they need separation from that spouse also tends to be extremely important. So that's just to begin. And actually, I think the one that I left off the list that I wish I hadn't and probably should have started with, sex education, whenever it begins, needs to have an entire day period of time. I don't know how much time, but it's a lot dedicated to the concept of consent. Teaching people from a very young age what consent is.
So what I got from you is basically America needs to have a moral compass and stick to it.
Moral compass, and that's a way of summarizing it, but no, we're not going to be the morality police. However, we are going to prevent people. You asked for ways that we can reduce the crime, and going for people's well-being. A well-being policy would be it, not the moral policy.
Well,
Yeah, because I don't think we should go around and say, everybody make sure you know that abuse is wrong and it's bad to do this. I don't think that morality has much to do with the solutions here at all.
Well, my issue with that is like, you could look at the DARE program. It was to prevent and teach people not to do drugs, and we have a huge drug problem here in America. Actually,
sure, but the huge drug problem in America has to do with conservatives deregulating the pharmaceutical industry and the for-profit pharmaceutical industry in this country that gets people addicted to these drugs. Because if your drug problem is specifically with marijuana, we don't have a drug problem. But when it goes beyond that into harder drugs, that's a direct line to pharmaceutical. But even if you want to say we've spent all that money on DARE and DARE didn't work, I agree with you, because we have the stats to prove that DARE doesn't work. But we also have the stats to prove that public education campaigns do work when it comes to domestic violence and their related issues. And so we don't have to worry about that. Right. Again, we can look at the other countries as well.
Well, I mean, some of those countries have like fascist regimes too. So are we just supposed to...
Great, so let's not do those ones that you already acknowledged. Some of them do, because I don't think the ones that we're talking about do. But even if you say, here's a list of ones that don't have a lot of crime or domestic violence, and these ones are fascist, so we would sit there and go, cool, let's ignore the fascist ones and go with the democratic ones, because some already implies you don't need the fascism for it.
Right. Crime, in my own personal opinion, is going to be crime. It's a never-ending battle that's never going to end. You can come up with as many policies as you want. Well, bad guys is going to always do bad guy things. There's mental illness. There's everything else.
Nobody has said there's never going to be zero crime, but do you actually think society can't reduce crime?
Right. That's demonstrably untrue. We reduce crime regularly.
It can reduce crime.
Great. So let's do all of those policies for the dramatic reduction, and let's not give up just because they won't go to zero.
Right. But my question was, at its form, is how do you implement policy to stop it? That was my original statement. There is
no. You asked what policies would affect it and what. Right. But if you now want to ask how, I can go through with you the process of passing a bill.
No. What policies can stop a man who's deranged from assaulting a female? What policy
That
can
is a
stop
completely
pervert
different
from
question.
assaulting
Again,
children? What policy can
you are
stop
now
Yeah,
moving
gang violence?
we've moved the goalposts.
You are now moving the goalpost. By the way, if you want to know what policies can, Ed, hang on. If you want to know what policies can but aren't going to reduce it to zero, you want to know what I tell women? Go buy a fucking gun. Because I'm a leftist. I like the proletariat to be armed. So as far as it comes to, if you are in that situation where right now male on female violence in America is so high and we don't have those numbers reduced, in the meantime, while we wait for the government to do something, go ahead and get you a gun. But that still isn't going to do anything for most people in their home, because if anything, if I wanted to hurt my girlfriend, I am much bigger and much more imposing, and she loves me so much that even if she had the bravery to pull a gun on me, she almost certainly wouldn't pull the trigger. And now I have a gun, essentially. So what you're describing is, what can we do to stop it, like in the home, like right now, today? Obviously, it's things that we have failed to do that should have started decades ago. We need to start now. We can start lowering it incrementally now, and we can dramatically lower it. And in the short term, ladies, get a gun, get pepper spray, get a taser, because men are fucking monsters, and enough of them hate all of you and are going to show you that.
And then, do you have the numbers? Can you look up the numbers as what the domestic violence ratio is of men on women versus women on men?
It wouldn't matter, because we don't report women on men. And that's exactly what you would point out. It is overwhelmingly more men versus women. It's also more serious because the danger is much more men versus women. It doesn't mean that it's
men
okay.
Are more violent.
A woman is attacking a man. That's wrong. And you guys, hang on, Ed. You guys should break up. And I'm not sitting here before they get the men's rights people on me saying I'm doing apologetics for domestic violence on women versus men. It is much more serious because it is much more dangerous, in the same way that child on adult domestic violence is less serious than adult versus a child. Okay. So but it is, we don't need to pull up. We know it is much more, and it is much more dangerous, men attacking women, and that when it comes to things that cause tremendous bodily injury, death, and the like, that is overwhelmingly men versus women. Women have the courtesy to poison us instead of murdering us with knives. On the occasion they murder. It's much kinder, but also much less often. That was
your humor,
kind of a joke. Promise I didn't laugh at all.
Man. I love your humor. Yeah.
Thank you.
Me and you
people don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So people Googled it already. The current reported numbers are 94-6, which again are meaningless numbers. But we know it's overwhelmingly higher with men versus women. Huh?
Right. Yeah, I said right. It's correct. I appreciate you for at least diving in on that. To me, I'm not right or left. I'm in the middle. And with my podcast, I got a panel. We've got Republicans, and we've got a lot of.
No, Ed, you're not plugging your show. We're not plugging your show.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out, what is your point? Like, we just answered a bunch of your questions, and I still don't understand what your point is. Like, what were you calling in? Like, what's your big statement? What's your opinion? Because the whole point of this is that you're supposed to call and give us something you disagree with us on, and then we go back and forth on it. But I feel like we just...
Honestly, how you make America great again is not under Trump. So how you make America great again is you have to completely put new blood into Congress and the Senate. You have to go through the process of passing bills. You have to have more passionate people out here pushing issues for rights equally across the board.
Okay, but you told the screener you wanted to declare that trans people shouldn't be in the bathroom with children. That's what you told our screener.
I don't agree with... Listen, I 1,000% do not agree that a trans person should be in the bathroom with a child.
Why?
What do you mean, why? What are their chromosomes?
Why specifically trans people? Because right now it is way more likely that a child, that when we're talking about stats that you wanted to bring up, cis adults are much more likely to assault a child in a bathroom than a trans adult is. So if you're saying that it has something to do with danger to the child, then your position should be adults and children shouldn't be allowed in bathrooms together, not specifically trans people.
But I have a way more important. So Ed, real quick, do you have kids?
I definitely do. I have 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys.
Okay.
18,
Okay, great.
14,
Do you-
11, and 9.
Okay, so when your little girls were too small to, because I worked with children professionally most of my adult life. My favorite was when I was a nanny, and those kids were like as close to my own as they could be. So I have a lot of experience with taking kids to the public restroom. When your little girls were not able to go to the bathroom by themselves, and you were out with them, what did you do? Did you take them to the bathroom with you?
I did not. I had their mother have them.
So, okay. So when your wife was out with your sons and they needed to go to the bathroom and they were too little to go to the men's bathroom by themselves, I'm talking like 2, did they go to the bathroom with her?
When we were out together, because I was the driver, she wasn't.
I just said when
she's
alone. When she was alone and the boys needed to go to the bathroom.
Okay. That's their mother.
Right, but they're in the bathroom with a bunch of people that don't match their gender. Are you okay with that?
No, that's not how that happens at all. Whenever we went out in public, I took the boys with me, Mom stayed with them.
Cool. Maybe you guys have a really interesting way that you handle things. When I was a nanny, I had a little boy and a little girl.
Yeah.
At one point, I was with them for years and years. At one point, I've got a 1.5-year-old with me and a 3-year-old with me. And everybody has to go potty. We're all going to the bathroom together. We're all going into the bathroom.
So it doesn't. You're at Walmart. You're at Walmart.
I'm not done.
Everybody's got to go together, right?
I'm not done.
Okay.
The little boy is going to the bathroom with all of us ladies in there. That's just how it would go. And I'll tell you this, I know for a fact that when the dad was out with the kids, if they had to go to the bathroom, he's taking both of them into the bathroom because he was an equal partner and took care of his kids as much as his wife did. And he would take them to the bathroom and the little girl would go into the bathroom because that's what you have to do in those situations. So I'm not sure, like, this is a weird thing to have an issue with when it's like, how are you going to determine if somebody's trans or not? Are you stopping everybody at the door and questioning? And then I think you know where I'm going with this, which is why you didn't want to admit that people do have to take their kids to bathrooms with people that are different genders.
Yes, people do. Yes, people do have to take their children to the bathroom. That's the parents of their children. If it's the mom doing it, her body, her choice, right? So she, of course, has full rights. Here in Ohio, mom has supremacy in the court system, okay? I know what you're trying to go with that. But at the end of the day, would I go and tell the kids to go in there by themselves? No. What kind of parent would I be? I get what you're saying. You're saying.
Ed, I looked up the numbers for you. Hang on, Ed. And I looked up the numbers for you. 96% of all sexual assaults in bathrooms are committed by cisgender males. The remaining 4% is cisgender females because trans people actually aren't large enough to get a full percentage. It's well under 1%. So if 96%,
so how many of those?
Hang on. If 96% of sexual assaults in bathrooms are committed by cisgender men, should cisgender men who are per capita twice as likely, more than twice, actually it's well over twice, but a minimum of twice as likely to commit a sexual assault, should cisgender men be allowed in bathrooms with kids?
Real quick, explain to me what cisgender is.
Not trans. Cisgender is trans.
So
Cisgender means not trans. Transgender, cisgender. Those are the two sides.
Okay. So you're saying whether the numbers for a male to do a FA, we're not going to say it.
I already did.
Is 96% with men, right?
96%. And when you go to the per capita, we know that it is well less than 1%, whereas trans people are less than 1%. Right. They're about 1% of the population, much less than 1%. Men are 49% of the population, but are 96%. So almost double if we round up the trans to 1%, trans assaults to 1%, you would say per capita, if you go into a bathroom with a trans woman and a cis man, the cis man is twice as likely to assault you than the woman is. Than the trans woman is. A child.
They're going to have problems. Oh, a child? So this is specifically to children? That's
correct. These are child
we need to do is
committed by males. Almost all are perpetrated by cisgender males, 96%. They are 49% of the population. Trans people are less than 1% of the population and commit even less than that. But if we round it up to 1-to-1, even rounded up, you are twice as likely to be assaulted by a cisgender male than you are to be assaulted by a trans woman or man. So should cisgender men not be allowed in bathrooms with children?
I still feel the same way.
Yes, I know. And you just accidentally told the truth. You accidentally just told the truth. You feel the same way. Because that is all this is. You only have feelings. You feel that way, but you are wrong.
I see the people that change. Me, myself, personally, I feel that a person who chooses, I feel honestly, only intersex people are the only ones who should be able to have that surgery and stuff. And I'm putting it out
great.
there.
And that's how you feel, but you don't have the data and you don't have the stats. So should policy be based on how people feel? Hang on, Ed, conservative constitutionalists. Should the policies be based on how a person feels or data and facts?
No, it's definitely data and facts. It's facts. Fuck your feelings. That's how I am, and that's how I've always been. So according to your data
now
script,
you're saying
then
despite
trans
the
people
data
should be
contrary
allowed to go into the bathroom. According to your facts and your numbers that you just pulled, then yes, trans people should be allowed to be in the bathroom.
Excellent. So your feelings, and you're welcome to go fact check it. If everything I just told you is true, your feelings should not be considered when passing the law.
No. Well, see, that's unconstitutional.
I didn't say that I'm talking about you going and voting.
Right. That's unconstitutional.
By the way,
you saying because of my feelings.
By the way, Ed, no, it is not unconstitutional to pass laws that the majority of the country doesn't feel. Otherwise, we would have a lot of laws. There are tons of policies that are more than 50% of Americans oppose. And there are policies that 90% of Americans believe in universal background checks. And yet those laws keep getting shut down. So just saying ignoring people's feelings is unconstitutional unless you acknowledge that the Republicans live on an unconstitutional island where they do not give a fuck whether or not most people support trans people. More than 50% support trans people in bathrooms.
I started this statement with that I'm neither on the left or the right. And honestly, I agree with you on that part. They are in an island, but I also believe the left is on an island too.
No. You should be a leftist. First of all, America doesn't have a real left. The Democrats are still on the right. They're all still capitalists. They're all still serving billionaire oligarchs. It is not a brag to say I'm not on the left or the right. The left is clearly the good guys.
Yeah.
The left are clearly the good guys. It's not a brag. Be a leftist, become a socialist, and the truth will set you free.
Listen, that's what my bro Juan tries to get me to do all the time. But I am who I am, and it is what it is. But I appreciate you for it, and I'm big up for your show.
Thanks,
I subscribed and all of that, and I'll keep following. Thank you guys for having me on here. I'm not going to do no plugs, but yeah.
Thank you, Ed.
Appreciate you guys.
You already got it. See ya.
Thank you. Have a good one. Thanks for talking.
All right, the next 4 super chats will be the last words of my outro song. So super chat a word, I will make an outro song that is 4 lines. The next 4 that come in, the outro song will end with those 4 words. I think YouTube censorship
for me
should make it okay.
To go
yeah. Do you want me to make it lullaby-esque?
Yeah.
The show is done and now we go because someone said include a hot dog. No, I'll try and be a little more clever than that. Whatever the 4 words are. You got to go fast though. We got to get her to sleep. Give me 4 super chats, individual words. And that's how we're going to go here. Even though Promise is literally the professional singer between the two of us, I will sing the outro.
Not.
Okay. just so you all know, you can go find Cadis on Spotify and listen to her sing tonight.
I don't know.
Right now.
I don't know who that is. I wouldn't know.
And how is that spelled? That thing you don't know what it is?
No.
I can't remember.
I'm not even going to. This was fun though. This is my first time on the new show. I have to like get my schedule a little late. I've been waking up really early and going to bed early, so now I'm gonna like start scooting it back again so I can do more things on the line. But it was fun.
Yeah. Yep.
I feel like
I think I've got.
I don't. Oh, you got it. Okay.
Yeah. You ready for the outro? No. Say your last thing, and then I'm gonna do it.
I'm just gonna say I feel like first the calls were like a little bit more interesting than what we sometimes get, which is cool. So I liked it. I guess there were newer callers.
Yeah, it's a younger.
But I guess I've been away for 6 months, so that'll do it.
The vertical crowd's a slightly different one, and then they get a little more fascisty. That last guy at least wasn't a fascist.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming, everyone. Whether you're trans or you're cis, I don't care at all. As long as together we all fight pneumonal ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. We are the debate monsters. We are the best. We are the debate horses. We are not phonies. When I look at our opposition, I guess they are just debate ponies. That was pretty good.
That was
we're
really
here
good.
To put a clinic on how to be a master debater. And if you're here with that, oh, I said it wrong. How to do master debation. We don't want the Charlie Kirks or other debate imitation. But now it's time for us to go to bed because it's late enough that we're not lazy. This entire show was meat and potatoes, and promise was the gravy. That's all. Goodbye.
That was really sweet.
It's over now.
Bye, everybody.